There's a handful of Republicans who join Democrats who get to determine who's the Speaker of the House is, but it is what it is.
Gates has criticized McCarthy in part for working with Democrats to avoid a government shutdown. But New York Republican Congressman Mike Lawler tells Fox News now Gates is relying on support from Democrats, including progressives.
And the fact that he has aligned himself with these individuals to undermine the House Republican majority is disgusting. It's shameful. And it speaks volumes to the fact that he has put himself and his personal petty grievances above the American people.
If a motion to vacate is adopted, the House will end up having to choose a speaker, which took 5 days when McCarthy was elected in January. Former President Trump weighing in with a social media post asking why Republicans are always fighting among themselves. That during a break at State Supreme Court in Manhattan, where his civil fraud trial continues.
Attorney General James accuses Trump of falsely inflating his net worth and deceiving banks by fraudulently overvaluing his properties. And she put out a video last night saying she fundamentally disagrees with Trump's interpretation of the statute of limitations in this case.
Fox's Nate Foy. Trump defends the value of his properties and calls the state attorney general a fraud. Hunter Biden in federal court in Delaware pleading not guilty to 3 federal gun charges. White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre.
The president loves his son. He's going to continue to support him as he rebuilds his life.
Also declining to discuss the case, Hunter Biden remains under special counsel investigation. A big sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow's down 475. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
When you can expect some rain, sunny and 85 downtown. You've got a clear radar. Low of 60 tonight with mostly clear skies. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. Highs in the 80s both today and tomorrow in the state.
And this is because there is a very large ridge of high pressure overhead, and that means basically the jet stream is all the way up in Canada, which is more typical of summer. So we get all that heat from the south just flowing northward.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service says that'll change Thursday. It starts to cool down, and most of the state will get some rain. The man charged with killing 3 people while speeding away from the cops was in court today. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Luis Leyva Gonzalez suffered only minor injuries when he drove his Dodge Challenger through a red light and collided with another car near Mithofer Road and 10th Street on the city's east side last week. 2 passengers in the car Gonzalez was driving were killed. He also killed the driver of the other vehicle that he collided with. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indy city workers need a living wage. That was the word from this resident at a city county council meeting last night.
The city employees, your neighbors, your family members that work for the city.
Eddie Hager told the council that $13 an hour was not a sustainable wage. A vote on a new spending plan happens in 2 weeks. A state representative in Carmel says his current term is going to be his last. Sam Fritz reports.
State Representative Jerry Torr announced he intends to retire after 28 years of public service on Tuesday. A press release states that Torr will finish his current term representing Carmel and Westfield as a member of Indiana's House District 39, but will not seek re-election. Over the course of his decades-long career, Torr helped pass legislation around Indiana's adoption of daylight savings time, the 2012 right-to-work law, and the repeal of the common construction wage. He received the Indiana Chamber of Commerce Government Leader of the Year award twice. Torr intends to work in the title insurance industry after leaving office. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's info 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Traffic in the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Baer.
Good afternoon, Harrison. Looking at southbound 465 jam traffic from I-69 to East 56 because of the repaving happening there in Lawrence. Southbound 65 is stop and go before 21st to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile on the most reliable 5G network. Most reliable based on Root Metrics U.S. report. Results vary. Not an endorsement. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And your forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For today, mostly sunny skies or high temperatures into the mid-80s. Tonight, another mostly clear night, low temperatures in the low to mid-60s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. This is just in. Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy has lost that vote to dismiss a motion to vacate the chair. So his speakership now in jeopardy. Some speculate that he's maybe try to cut some sort of deal with the Democrats to defeat this hard right effort to oust him, even though he has little chance of hanging on to his leadership post without their support.
So it moves forward, and now we will find out who is true to their word. Because prior to this, a lot of people came out that Matt Gaetz thought was in his corner and went another direction, like Chip Roy. Chip Roy came out and said he's not in favor of replacing the Speaker of the House. We heard Victoria Spartz say that. Jim Banks said as much on our program yesterday. But that was yesterday. And 24 hours in Washington, D.C. is a lifetime. So Matt Gaetz has forced the House to vote on ousting Kevin McCarthy. We'll see what happens.
And I don't think Democrats plan to come to his rescue at all on this.
Well, they're enjoying the show.
Well, he's been accused. This is why this whole thing happened. This is why Representative Gaetz put this whole thing in motion. He's accusing the House Speaker of backdoor deals with the Democrats for more funding with Ukraine.
Right. Because this 45-day stopgap bill that funded the government technically did not have anything in there about Ukraine. But what Matt Gaetz is saying is at the same time he presented that, Kevin McCarthy was working with Democrats behind the scene on another bill that would fund Ukraine. Like that was part of the give and take to this whole 45-day, quote, bipartisan stopgap. So it's a mess. There is so much legal stuff going on.
It is. And I'll tell you, and I heard them talking about this earlier, or maybe it was at the top of the hour. I'm not sure who said it, but Donald Trump tweeted out, truthed out on Truth Social, quote, "Why is it that Republicans are always fighting amongst themselves? Why aren't they fighting the radical left Democrats who are destroying our country?" Finally, a Trump social media post I can get with.
Right.
Yeah. And we asked this yesterday to Representative Banks. The Republicans are always fighting amongst themselves while there is a unified front from the Democrats.
And we'll talk about this later on, but today, of all days, you have some deals being discussed in regards to the impeachment of the big guy. You've got Hunter Biden going into court today. These should be the headlines that are out there. Instead, all the news networks are DEFCON 1 on Matt Gaetz looking at Kevin McCarthy going, blank me, blank you. So we'll get into that more here in just a little bit. Please stick with us because it is a crazy news day. We always like to give you information of what's happening here in Indy, though. Right? You can get national headlines all over the place. What I love about this platform is we can talk about what's happening in central Indy.
Sometimes I don't always love the stories, though.
And that's what's happening in Fishers. A Fishers Christian Academy teacher is on administrative leave after being accused of having a relationship with a 15-year-old student.
It's more than just that. I mean, if this dude's 34 years old, I don't even want to say his name. makes me sick to my stomach. At a Christian academy, no less. Not that it makes it any worse. It happens. It's awful when it happens anywhere where parents trust the teachers and they drop off their kids and entrust the teachers the safety of their kids. But this guy's 34 years old. Child sex trafficking charge in there. He's charged with several felonies.
Right. Now, normally when there is a, let's say, mass shooting, I will not say the name of the person because I think that person wants to be famous and I don't want to give them what they want. But in this case, Nige, I think parents need to know if their children have any sort of interaction. And the person being charged here is 34-year-old Stephen Ayon, A-Y-O-N. And according to the probable cause filed in Hamilton County, he has been charged with 1 count of disseminating of matter harmful to minors. That's a level 6 felony. 1 count of child solicitation. That's a level 4 felony. 1 count of child seduction, a level 4 felony. 1 count of sexual misconduct with a minor, another level 4. 1 count of promotion of child sex trafficking, a level 3 felony. And 1 count of vicarious sexual gratification, a level 5 felony. And this was a Christian academy teacher, 34 years old, in a relationship with a 15-year-old.
Yeah. You try to put yourself into the position, you never want to put yourself into the position of being a parent and having to find out that this happened to your 15-year-old daughter. I don't know if this is a male or a female. I'm assuming it's female, but you could pretty much count on seeing my mugshot on TV over the next few days if that were my daughter. And the bail money, there would probably be, I would be held without bond, probably.
And I'd be right there with you, brother. And I think there's a lot of people listening in their radio right now going, preach. I'm right there with you. Also, here in Central Indy, the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police has put out a statement in regards to the 2 officers being charged for that shooting of a man in the driveway that took place New Year's Eve into New Year's Day.
Yeah, he was asleep in his car or something like that, and his grandma called 911 because she didn't know who it was.
Right.
And he had a knife, or he had a gun on him,
right,
laying on him.
There's a weapon in the passenger seat, and next thing you know, shots are being fired. The statement from the Fraternal Order of Police, I'm going to read you just a little bit. This is just an excerpt. Quote, "The charges against the 2 officers are a classic example of a 2020 hindsight case which is expressly prohibited by the United States Supreme Court precedent. Instead, this invites people to pass judgment on what was learned after the incident rather than what the officers knew at the time." The statement goes on to say, no officer should have to second-guess their actions in a split second they are trying to defend their lives. So this one is got legal stuff written all over it, and the statement from the FOP, they're citing precedent set by the United States Supreme Court. Now, speaking of crime, punishment in Indy, remember the name Cindy Carrasco?
Yeah, I really like Cindy. She had a campaign against the Ryan Mears for Marion County prosecutor.
Right. I thought she ran a pretty good campaign. She didn't do any self-inflicted wounds. You know, she got beat by Ryan Mears, and it's a very blue city.
We talked to her several times, and it was a pretty wide margin of victory for Mears.
Right. I believe
Cindy.
20%. And since then, she is basically in charge of like the policing of the University of Indianapolis, among other things. So all the security of the campus, one of the duties that Cindy Carrasco has been doing, she's now filed her paperwork as a candidate for the Indiana State Senate seat that was vacated by the unexpected death of Jack Sandlin last week. So I like Cindy Carrasco a great deal. Again, I think she is somebody that would have really served Indianapolis and Marion County in the prosecutor's position, but she is now going to file to be a state senator looking to fill the seat after Jack Sandlin passed away unexpectedly of a heart attack just last week. So again, we got a lot of stuff going on. Parts are moving. Things are flying. Stick with us all afternoon here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Matt Baer, what's up?
Hammer, we have a crash Shadelet Avenue at 80th by Community North, and this is a crash with 3 vehicles and 2 ambulances on the way, according to the scanner. Looking at inbound 65, that's stop and go from 29th to Meridian Penn. And Lawrence, stop and go traffic. Eastbound 465 from Allisonville Road. Then it gets bad. I-69 down to Pendleton Pike because of the repaving zone that's taken out half of the interstate. Traffic sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Stores provide innovative products and services for small business, remote workers, and learners, even teachers and parents. Explore more at your local Staples store. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
So now debate is underway on the House floor ahead of the vote to oust Kevin McCarthy. Again, a lot of folks feel like Gaetz doesn't have the votes for this, but the debate is underway. This is going to last for at least an hour.
Sparks, by the way, an Indiana Congresswoman voting no on that motion to vacate. And it's kind of interesting. Marjorie Taylor Greene voting to protect Speaker McCarthy. Just a couple of little quick highlights there.
And by the way, if you're somebody that watches this program on the YouTube stream, we have one working camera today. So Nigel and I are going to rotate that. One thing I'm not going to do is flip out like Rob Kendall does. Like when he found out today the in-studio camera was not working, I thought he was going to quit and walk off the show. Like that dude loves the YouTube camera more than anybody I've ever seen in my entire life.
Loves being on that camera. Hell, you can just keep it. You don't have to switch it every break if you want to. Go ahead, take it.
I don't care either. But you know who does? Rob Kendall. So I know our poor digital staff is working overtime just so he has something to look into tomorrow. He texted me today accusing me of breaking the camera.
Really?
Like 9:05 today, before he cracked the mic and went on the show, I got a text message. Did you break the camera? Was it working when you left? Like, you little needle blank, don't come at me like that. Good Lord. 87 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You probably know how much money you've saved in your IRA or 401k, correct?
Oh, I know to the penny. Casey and I work in radio, so it's not that much.
Okay, well, here's another question. Do you know how much you'll owe in taxes on this money in retirement?
Absolutely not, because I'm an idiot, Casey. That's why I seek the help of trained professionals.
Well, that's the most important number you really need to know, Rob. Otherwise, you're not going to know how much money you really do have.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k. Just go to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. That's SaveTaxesWithBill.com. Just input a few numbers and you'll instantly see how much money you could save in taxes when you retire. It's from Bill Dimry, our good friend right here in Indy.
Don't give the government a nickel more in taxes than you have to. Learn how much money you could save in taxes when you retire by going to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. It's SaveTaxesWithBill.com.
Colorectal cancer rates are on the rise, especially in younger adults. The good news? It's one of the few cancers that can be prevented through screening. So we're keeping up, making some changes, and saving lives. Franciscan Health now offers colonoscopy screenings for adults aged 45 and up. No doctor referral needed. And they're covered at 100% by most insurance plans. Are you 45? Screen sooner. Schedule your colonoscopy at franciscanhealth.org/coloncare.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
So many things to be focused on and worried about when you're a homeowner. I'm a homeowner. I'm grateful that I'm a homeowner, but just sometimes it's just too much. The last thing I want to be worried about is my HVAC. That's why I have an American Standard unit installed in my house. If you need American Standard service, Hammer will tell you who you need to check out.
How about Kirby Heating and Air? Kirby has been in the business for well over 3 decades. Lloyd and Jessica Kirby are the founders of this great family-run business, and now sons Robert and Adam are carrying on the tradition of excellent service. Kirby, taking care of Hendricks and the surrounding counties. The reason they choose to install American Standard? One word. Quality. So if you need furnace service and you want to get ahead of the nasty weather coming in, contact Kirby, 892-3614. That's 892-3614, or go to kirbyheating.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
And we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
So were you around for the entire Colts game yesterday or on Sunday, Hammer, or did you just kind of do what I did and kind of kept my eye on it after that first half? like especially the second quarter when they were still running up the score on us when the Rams were. I was just like, all right, I got other stuff to do.
I was on the road for the first half. We were coming back from Louisville in the bowling event for my son's college. So we were on the road. I was listening to Matt Taylor and Rick Venturi call the game the first half, and they didn't sound too excited about the action that was taking place.
Awful. Just a horrific first half.
But the second half, big comeback, build your hopes up. You feel good about the Colts. Maybe this is Anthony Richardson's welcome to the NFL moment, and they got beaten overtime.
Yeah, they do what they always do. They rip your heart out at the very end.
So now that week 4 is over, and we talked to Kevin Bowen of 107.5 The Fan about this yesterday, Jonathan Taylor is technically eligible to come off of the physically unable to perform list, the PUP list. So the $1 million question is he going to practice this week? And if he gets a couple practices, will he play against the Tennessee Titans this Sunday? Here is the Colts head coach, Shane Steichen.
He'll be back with the team. He's practicing Wednesday. He'll be out there with us. Had great conversations with him. He's super excited to be back with his teammates and look forward to having him. Yeah, no, he's in good shape conditioning wise. Obviously, putting on the pads and practicing is a different deal. I know it's been a long time since he's played football. So we'll see, how practice goes this week, see where he's at physically from, putting the pads on, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I hope there's when's the last time he's practiced?
It's been a while. Last year, really.
I don't think there's any. I don't think these guys get what we think of as atrophy. There's muscle memory involved in what he does for a living.
Right.
I think him and Moss will be a good 1-2 punch. And so, did you get the sense that we were going to see Jonathan Taylor on the field this Sunday?
I got the sense that Shane Steichen is setting himself in a position to say, if he doesn't play, it's on Jonathan Taylor. Because he's going to practice. And unless he's hurt, I want to play him. But if I get told from either Jonathan Taylor, his agent, or somebody else, he's not going to play, don't blame the coach for it.
See what you did there.
And, man.
And I guess I shouldn't say, when I said earlier the Colts do what they always do is rip your heart out at the end. They had a great game against Baltimore. That was a wonderful ending.
Yeah, but not at home. They've lost 7 straight home games. So
won a lot. Yeah,
you don't owe anybody an apology. Yeah.
Okay.
You're just fine.
Rip your heart out at home. Should have added
on the
that.
road, they tend to play okay, but at home, man, I think it's one of the longest stretches in the NFL of a team that has not won a regular season home game. According to a new survey, the fastest drive-through belongs to Taco Bell, and the most accurate belongs to Chick-fil-A. Your thoughts?
Let's see here. The fastest drive-thrus overall, Taco Bell, KFC, Carl's Jr. Chick-fil-A was the slowest, but most accurate. I think it's BS. Chick-fil-A has got it down cold, man. Chick-fil-A is fast. I mean, the only reason Taco Bell is faster is because there's never as many cars in their drive-thru. Chick-fil-A's got it down to a science, I mean, when you pull into the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A, it's almost always packed, and you almost always get your food in a decent amount of time.
Right. And it's usually always correct. Like, I'm probably 50-50 with getting a bag from Taco Bell. It's lower at some places around my house. Like, when I go to McDonald's or something to get the kids, it's one of those deals where if you don't check the bag before you leave, you're just throwing your money away, because I guarantee you they forgot something.
So this is the one of those. They do this every year, the fast food survey. For accuracy in that column, they looked at the top things fast food places mess up the most. Number 1, putting ice in your drink when you say no ice. I don't get those people. I'm sorry. I gotta have ice in there. If I happen to be at McDonald's and I love their fountain Cokes, one of my weaknesses, I get a large Coke extra ice.
And the thing is, you're not really being charged for that. Like, forgetting a sandwich is a more, unforgivable error than putting ice in the cup. To me, anyway.
Then after that, it was adding the wrong ingredients to the entree, like pickles when you said no pickles.
Okay, now that I understand. Like, if you're somebody that hates pickles and you're grossed out by it and you think they're slimy or whatever, and you get them on your sandwich, that sucks. But if you get ice in your cup, guess what? It's probably going to melt in there before you get home, and you're good chance you might not even know what was in there to begin with. Yeah, but if you ruin the order, though, that's a deal breaker.
Man, I haven't been to Taco Bell forever. Sounds good. I might have to stop there after a night with WIBC tomorrow night.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Just as a little reward.
So what you're saying is that there's a good chance we could see you on the next edition of Great Moments in Taco Bell drive-thru history.
That's right.
Let's go back a number of years ago, back when Letterman, before he was a screaming lunatic about politics, was actually doing comedy late at night. His bits were the absolute best, and this was Dave Letterman at the Taco Bell drive-thru.
Hi, welcome to Taco Bell. What do you want?
Hi, can I have a kid's meal with a soft taco?
Are you Mexican?
No, I'm not.
If you're Mexican, the meal's half off. All right, no, slow down, ma'am. I am very, very tired. I am just getting over the worst case of stomach flu I've ever had in my life.
You sound familiar.
I'm the manager, Kenny.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
We'll get your food. You'll be on your way. Are you Howard Stern?
I love it how he just asked her at the beginning, yeah, what do you want?
Great Moments in Taco Bell drive-thru history. I think this one's my favorite of all time.
There's a few of them. I'm wondering what it is.
The woman that got stuck behind the car that had ordered $300 worth of Taco Bell, and she thought it was her duty to inform everybody else in the line of what was going on.
Oh, my God. Yo! The reason this line is so long because this ordered $300 worth of tacos! He didn't get Taco Bell no heads up! $300 worth of tacos! That's like 100 tacos!
Great Moments in Taco Bell drive-thru history.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Get ready to save with Spectrum One. You get Spectrum Internet delivering fast and reliable speeds for $49.99 a month. Free advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced privacy and security. and a free Spectrum mobile line with unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Go to spectrum.com/save more and use the Spectrum One savings calculator to see how much you can save today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
The return of rain. Sunny and 88 downtown. Nothing under radar. Low of 60 degrees tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:30. You can expect it to be mostly sunny with high temps in the 80s throughout most of the state today and tomorrow, but it is supposed to rain Thursday.
All areas can see rain. I think the best chance, though, is from central and southern Indiana.
Forecaster Matt Eckhoff says it also starts to cool down Thursday, and then high temperatures may only be in the 50s for some sports in the weekend. A motion to table the vote to oust House Speaker Kevin McCarthy failed this afternoon.
On this vote, the yeas are 208. The nays are 218. The motion is not adopted.
Florida Republican Representative Matt Gaetz introduced the motion to vacate last night. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said House Democratic leaders won't intervene on McCarthy's behalf if he's going to remain Speaker. A vote on that is later this afternoon. How does the White House feel about the votes?
There is chaos there. A small majority of their conference is indeed causing chaos. We just have to go back to Saturday and what we saw. What they almost marched us to, which is shutting down the government.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says what the party is doing is unhelpful to the American people. One Indiana city topped the recent list of the best small cities in America. Sam Fritz reports.
Carmel topped WalletHub.com's list of best small cities in America recently. Indiana had 6 small cities ranked in the top 30, the second most of any state, only behind Massachusetts with 7. Westfield jumped up from 10th last year to 4th this year, and Fishers was just behind them in 5th. Further down the list, you also had Zionsville, Noblesville, and Brownsburg as well. Scoring criteria had several sub-factors influence their ranking, some of which included average commute time, high school graduation rate, population growth, and violent crime rate. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.57 for a gallon of regular. That's according to GasBuddy.com. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. Your time is 3:32.
Don't you love fall in Indy, but you hate the paint? Well, do what your neighbor Mark did. He called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
No paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
With traffic at 3:33, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison crashed northeast side. It is Shadla near Clear Vista, and 3 vehicles involved. A couple of ambulances were sent, according to the scanner. Eastbound 465 stop-to-stop and go traffic after Allisonville Road down to East 56th Street. That is the construction zone. And we have 24/7 lane restrictions until October 16th there in Lawrence in that area. Traffic sponsored by B-Window. Design it before you buy it with B-Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For today, mostly sunny skies or high temperatures into the mid-80s. Tonight, another mostly clear night, low temperatures in the low to mid-60s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Crime, punishment, judges, legal stuff.
How about Joe Biden impeachment inquiry? That's still going on. They are getting ready to question this Matt Graves guy, his federal prosecutor, the U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C., played a role in the Hunter Biden case. It's going to sit for a voluntary interview, or I should say, played lack of a role, because the IRS whistleblowers accused this guy, this U.S. Attorney Graves, of refusing to work with Weiss, the prosecutor, the federal prosecutor on this case. So this guy was involved in IRS whistleblower testimony. And by the way, all this stuff is going to be behind closed doors.
Of course. A couple things here. Number one, this is not the Matthew Graves that was a star of Indiana high school basketball and went on to play for Butler. This is not that Matthew Graves. And number two, this, in theory, should have been one of the big headlines on this news day today. Instead, the Republicans are fighting with each other, and this story is kind of an afterthought. And look, we're just as guilty, but the real reality is the bigger story right now is the infighting between the Republicans in the House, Gates against McCarthy, and they missed a big opportunity to have the news cycle cover the Biden crime family, because it was a big day for the Biden crime family. So you've got the impeachment inquiry questioning Graves here, and then you've got the crack-smoking son, Hunter. Hunter Biden pled not guilty to federal charges of lying on an application to buy a gun back in 2018.
Apparently you're not allowed to be a crackhead and buy a gun. And he went out and wrote a book and said, yeah, I was a crackhead back in 2018 and bought a gun.
It's shocking that a bad decision came from Hunter Biden. Catherine Herridge of CBS News, she was inside the courtroom today when Hunter Biden made his appearance.
This was an extraordinary scene that unfolded in the courthouse behind me, the son of a sitting president facing felony gun charges. As Hunter Biden entered the courtroom on the second floor, he passed by me. I was no more than about 5 feet away. And there was a sense of nervous energy, a nervous smile, a sense of real apprehension as we headed into the proceeding. It lasted about 20 minutes. The federal judge asked the president's son if he understood the charges, the potential serious penalties, and that he had a right to remain silent. And to each he responded with a strong and soft voice, "Yes, Your Honor." And when it came time to enter the plea, that was done by his attorney, Abby Laurel, who said Mr. Biden pleads not guilty to the 3 charges.
And after that court appearance, Hunter Biden went home and took a very bizarre picture in his underpants and a scarf. Okay, maybe not. He's done it before. I thought maybe he did it again.
I have it's my screensaver on my desktop.
There's a lot of interesting photos of Hunter from some of the stuff that's leaked out there. Which one's your favorite?
The one with him in his tidy whities and the scarf, smoking the cigarette, and then the one where he's just passed out with the crack pipe laying out of his mouth.
That's pretty strong.
The one where he's laying in the bathtub with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth as well.
Right.
Just, I mean, disheveled and high and hungover and who knows what the hell else.
So the question now becomes, what's next in regards to the Hunter Biden illegal gun purchase story?
The next date on the calendar is early November, and we're already getting a sense of the defense team's strategy. They indicated to the court that they will file a motion to dismiss, and they are going to question whether one of the charges is constitutional, a charge that would ban a drug user from owning and obtaining a weapon in the United States. What's striking to me is that just 2 months ago, Hunter Biden entered this courthouse with a degree of optimism and a lot of confidence. But as we saw that plea deal collapse and I was inside that courtroom, what we see now is that the chapter is not closing for Hunter Biden or for his family or for his father, the president.
Well, we've talked about that part where she mentioned the constitutionality of a drug user owning a gun with Guy Relford. And he told us that, Guy Relford's a 2A attorney. He said Hunter's defense might have a point there.
Right.
And you could go back and listen to that conversation, but I love it because one of the conditions of Hunter, as he was released, was that he has to find a job. No drug use, none of no getting into any trouble, anything like that, and you have to find a job.
All challenging things for Hunter Biden. All challenging things. But wait a minute. Doesn't he have multiple jobs? I mean, isn't that where all this money is coming from? Don't the Bidens have all these companies, apparently, where money can be funneled from oligarchs overseas.
They're probably going to say his job is artist. Seriously, because he's sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of art to who the hell knows.
And it all sucks.
Yeah.
Every bit of it sucks, but because it's Hunter, people are paying $500,000 for it, and then that money is being divided among his dad, the big guy. There's, a sister-in-law, there's an uncle, there's grandkids getting money from this, and all the while, the big guy's the one providing the access. We're doing some legal stuff here. Let's focus on some crime in major cities. Last night, a Democrat rep from Texas, a guy by the name of Henry Collier, was carjacked at gunpoint outside of his apartment building in Washington, D.C. Now, he's safe, but according to reports, several men held guns to this representative's head before taking his phone and his car. So that's what's happening in our nation's capital.
I'm assuming that's a random act, right? Was he targeted specifically because he was a representative?
I don't know. He was targeted because he was outside in Washington, D.C. Now, keep in mind, 173. That's the number. 173 House Democrats voted just a couple months ago against overturning D.C. laws that lowered the penalty for carjackers. Wow. There was a bill out there that would have made it, tough for carjackers, and lawmakers, they don't want any part of that.
Insane. They are nuts. They are lunatics.
So now Washington, D.C. is on pace to have 1,000 carjackings this year alone. Members of Congress can't even go home without the threat of being carjacked at gunpoint in our nation's capital. So I will see Washington, D.C., and I'm going to raise you Philadelphia, which has been in the news for all the wrong reasons when it comes to crime and punishment. This very leftist journalist, his name is Josh Kruger. He was tragically shot and killed in his Philadelphia home. Now, that's disgusting. I pray for his family. I hate that. But this is also the guy that would always downplay how violent it was in Philadelphia. As a matter of fact, he would troll and chastise people who spoke out about it. He was basically that guy on social media that would always say, my house is fine. I ate dinner downtown last night. I can sit outside and have a beer. No one's trying to kill me, which doesn't mean that it's not happening. And ultimately, it did happen to him.
Boy, that's an awful story. I take no enjoyment whatsoever out of that. And we've gotten blowback like that before when we talk about violence in Indy. And we'll get a random picture of some guy sitting out on Mass Ave in the middle of the afternoon with a beer. Everything's fine here to me. What the hell are you guys talking about? I mean, and those are serious troll tweets,
right,
that we received.
Just because it's not happening to you right then and there doesn't mean it's not happening somewhere in the city of Indianapolis. And that was this guy. This guy was, if he were alive, would be somebody that would send us that troll type of tweet, talking about how safe it is, and all you angry right-wingers, you say everything's violent because you're racist. Well, ultimately it got him. And you're right, we take no joy in this story, but maybe this is a reminder to all the trolls that, hey, this stuff does happen.
Or to all the people that genuinely believe that, like this reporter did, that, oh, nothing's wrong. Not only the trolls, but there are people that genuinely believe it's overblown.
Looking at some numbers for our city here in Indy, since we're talking about crime in Indy, so far, 731 people shot, 161 stabbed, with 169 killed. So when you look at the numbers here, that's 892 people that were either shot or stabbed, and 169 homicides in 275 days. A person is killed every 39 hours right now in Indianapolis, and that's 3.24 people who are shot or stabbed every day in our capital city. Indianapolis on pace once again for 200-plus homicides for the fourth straight year.
All right, but we're not breaking any records, Hammer.
Hey, it's not an all-time record. It's top 4, it's top 5, but it's not an all-time record. So when you hear Joe Hogsett stumble up to that microphone and slur through his speech talking about how crime is down, it's down compared to the record level that he was also in charge of. 4 straight years on pace right now this year for 200-plus homicides. 200-plus homicides cannot be the norm in this city, especially when you see the numbers from places like Boston and what they're doing with crime.
Yeah, their goal by 2025 in Boston, I believe the Reverend Charles Harrison, 10-Point Coalition, the president of the 10-Point Coalition told us that Boston's goal is to have no more than 30 homicides in their city by the year 2025. 30! And we're creeping up on 200 here.
For the fourth straight year.
For the fourth straight year.
Democrat leadership in Boston, what's different? What are they doing so different that we're not doing here? Is their mayor sober? Is that it? It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
We've created something special here in Carmel. I'm Sue Finkham, and it's here where I built my business and started a family and served as a leader on city council, helping our community prosper and increasing government transparency. Now, we're America's #1 rated city, but we're just getting started. Lots of people talk about keeping Carmel the best city in America. But me, I'm the only one with the plan and experience to do it. I'm Sue Finkham. It's simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. And ensure development doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character.
Sue Finkham, the only candidate with the experience and vision to keep Carmel the best city in America, partnering with police to keep our community safe, and ensuring responsible development to help our community thrive.
Together, let's keep Carmel on the path to success.
On November 7th, vote Sue Finkham for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkham Victory Committee.
Okay, when you're talking about testosterone, you need to do your homework and go to a provider that you could trust. Hammer and Nigel show recommend Low T Center. That's where they specialize in men's wellness and customized testosterone treatments. You walk in, take a blood test, and 25 minutes later, you get your results back, just like that.
The Low T Center really is your one-stop shop for all things men's health. And what's great is that you don't have to wait in these long, ridiculous lines like a typical doctor's office. As a matter of fact, with the Low T Center, they have physician-monitored self-inject treatments that ship directly to your house each month. So there's no need to drive to the center for weekly visits. And right now, it's $25 to get your T-level tested and get your results back in about 25 minutes. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment today. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey, Ruthie, I'm making my Indiana sweet corn casserole, so if you got a reco, I'm all ears.
Well, Total Wine has this amazing straight bourbon whiskey that's made with 58% corn, so no wonder it's a hit here in Indianapolis.
Perfect. I'll pop it in my cart.
Also, check it out. We have it for the lowest price in town.
Wow, that's a low price. Ruthie, you're the best in your field.
Aw, shucks. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at your Total Wine & More in Indianapolis. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Hi, I'm Joe Wrights, former Colts offensive lineman.
And I'm Jill Wrights. Traumatic brain injury is so sad and so life-changing.
That's why we support a groundbreaking organization building a better future for adults living with a TBI.
Vilici was founded right here in Indiana, but what we are doing will affect families around the country, families struggling to support and lift up their loved one after a life-changing head injury.
Go to braininjury.me, that's braininjury.me.
That's Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
Are you thinking about your next home improvement project, but you need more than a window replacement? Whether it's siding, entry doors, or maybe a bath or shower remodel, design it before you buy it. That's right. B's using the latest in technology to create an architectural design so you can see our products on your house before you purchase. Up to 50% off all products and 2.99% financing plus $550 installation credit.
Trust me.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Design it before you buy it. up to 50% off all products and 2.99% financing plus $550 installation credit.
The Georgia Street Tailgate presented by Peterman Brothers is this Sunday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. before the Colts-Titans game. Free entertainment on the Jack Daniels stage. Food and drinks for purchase brought to you in part by Jack Daniels, New Belgium Brewing, Hubler Auto Group, and the Veterans Administration.
All right, Matt Bayer, what's going on?
Crash northeast side, Shadeland Avenue near Clear Vista. This has southbound Shadeland backed up onto 82nd Street. Just received this from Greenfield Police. There is a crash. Emergency crews on the scene. A serious crash at County Road 100 North near 100 West. It's going to be to the west of Greenfield. Please stay clear. Crash MLK north of Fall Creek and Lawrence southbound 465. Stop from Allisonville Road to East 56. It's construction. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for limited time, give up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to be. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
87 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center here at 93 WIBC.
You set them up and I'll knock them back, Lloyd. One by one.
We are gonna read Booze News because it's really fun.
Once it hits your lips, it's so good.
Nigel presents
Booze News, Booze News. Yeah. Time for booze. Oh, I love this. Sam Adams has just unlocked beer lovers' biggest phobia, Cenosillosophobia. Is that how you pronounce it? Are you looking at it? Did I say it right? Cenosillosophobia?
Sounds good to me.
Cenosillosophobia is the fear of an empty beer glass.
I have it.
Do you? I do too, especially at concerts and sporting events where it's hard to get a beer, where there's long lines to get a beer, where it's inconvenient to get a beer.
Crowded bars or...
Exactly. Listen, I think this is all just BS, but according to a study from Sam Adams, 38% of American beer drinkers consider this phobia a relatable fear. 20% of American beer drinkers say they'd rather run into an ex than have an empty beer glass. So I have a feeling, Hammer, this is turning into some sort of promotion or something, right?
Yeah, because this is just fuel to add to the upcoming festival that Sam Adams is putting on in New York.
Okay.
It's called Fear Fest Beer Fest. And if you're somebody that's got this phobia, you are encouraged to go through this like haunted house, haunted maze that they've got set up in Long Island. And the gimmick is you have a full glass of Sam Adams when you go in.
Okay.
And people are trying to jump out and scare you. And if you could make it to the end without spilling it or having an empty beverage,
I love it.
You've gotten over the phobia, basically.
I love it. Dude, I spill my beer when there's no haunted house every time.
I know.
It's all the time I spill my beer.
I'm concerned about your well-being because sometimes when you pour beverages for us for Beer Sample Friday or Moonshine Monday, there's a little shake going on there.
I've had those shakes forever. It's I've just generally for decades.
It's not like Parkinson's or anything, is it?
No. It's trust me, those shakes go away the more I drink. All right?
Okay.
Have you ever seen Leaving Las Vegas when
I have.
When Nicolas Cage he's too shaky to sign his check at the bank, so he goes and gets hammered and then he shows back up steady as a effing rock.
So if I understand this correctly, your argument, your defense is you're just as healthy as Nicolas Cage in Leaving Las Vegas.
I've actually toned it down a little bit. I've lost 10 pounds.
Attaboy.
Just on Exercise Inc. obviously, but just not doing it as much during the week. A lot of empty calories, man.
Yeah, and it's tough, man, because I got birthday stuff going on, and then when you start buying Halloween candy,
ooh.
That is so hard to turn down, man. And then, of course, November brings Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the Christmas cookies.
What about
Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest.
Oh, Oktoberfests.
No, that actually ends today.
The big one.
The big one. That's in Munich, I believe. I have several friends that have been over there and said it's a damn good time.
Is it just like in European Vacation where Clark Griswold's up there drinking beers and dancing and slapping ass?
I wonder, and one of my favorite underrated comedies of all time is Beer Fest, where I think they go, I think the premise of the movie is they go get their dad's recipe or their grandpa's beer recipe at somebody has it over in Germany or something like that. But 1 in 7 Americans think drinking like a fish might actually make the world a little better place.
I would agree that.
According to this recent study. Drinking like a fish might actually make the world a better place. You would agree?
Yeah. Look at all these losers in Washington, D.C. Look at all the bad decisions they make sober. Maybe if everybody were hammered drunk, we'd have lower taxes and a better border. I'm just saying.
12,000 Americans were asked whether society would be better off if people drank more beer in general. 15% say yes. Now, 49% think we'd be better off if people drank less beer.
And those people are communists.
Oh, my goodness.
That's who they are. All right. We have got a lot going on. There's debate going on right now on the floor of the House. Gates v. McCarthy. Choose your fighter. We have an update next.
Joe Hogsett's been a politician for 34 years, and that's a lot of photo ops. But when riots broke out downtown, when police needed a mayor, there's no photo of Joe Hogsett. He was nowhere to be found. Since then, violent crimes off the chart. Police leaving the force. We're now 300 cops short. As a result, 2 out of 3 homicides now go unsolved. Indy is in crisis, and we need a mayor, not photo op Joe.
Not too long ago, Indy hosted a Super Bowl. We welcomed the world. We had a belief in our city back then that Indy could be magnetic, dynamic. Now, crime makes us feel unwelcome in our own neighborhoods. Joe Hogsett tried to do something about it. It's gotten steadily worse. Jefferson Shreve isn't running on a promise to try. He's running on a plan. Learn more about Shreve's plan at shreveformayor.com.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
My mom needed new windows in her kitchen. I told her immediately to call Window Nation at 866-90Nation or windownation.com. Made an appointment. They were out within a day and then out within a couple more days to take measurements. Pretty soon she's going to have beautiful brand new Window Nation windows in her kitchen, and she got a great deal too. 2 windows free for every 2 you buy, plus no money down, no payments, and pay no interest for 2 years.
Get new windows now before the nasty cold weather arrives. And if you do it now, you'll save thousands of dollars because there are multiple deals and they all work with each other at Window Nation. Buy 2, get 2 for free, and there's no limit. And on top of that, 000 for 2 years. 0 money down, 0 payments, 0 interest for 2 full years. 866-90Nation or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Owner Danny Reinhardt's son Kevin says one simple saying from his dad affects him every day at work.
Especially when you go out and do sales and service calls and collect money and do all this stuff that's important to a lot of people. He always said the number one thing I remember from him is just fair and honest wins every time.
You can trust Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt Heating and Cooling is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
24/7 ER care for kids. 24/7 peace of mind for you. Riley Children's Health emergency doctors and nurses are in the ER around the clock at IU Health North in Carmel. Learn more at rileychildrens.org/ER.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Are you tired of cleaning it up after every rain? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real, local, Indiana family-owned company. Even a small amount of water in your basement can lead to a huge amount of problems. Don't let your wet basement problem get worse. Call Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer, Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com. And ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Indy for the fall special, October 5th to the 7th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, featuring 1,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, customs, and more. Broadcast live on Motor Trend TV and Motor Trend Plus. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, there's some strong chances Indiana gets some rain in a few days. A fatal crash this morning south of Franklin, and an argument for city workers to be paid more money. All that and more coming up from Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Infighting on the House floor. I'm Lisa Brady. Republicans are debating each other about the future of House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
We need a speaker who will fight for something, anything, besides just staying or becoming speaker.
Virginia Congressman Bob Good calling the nation's debt a red line.
With the Democrats driving the fiscal bus off the cliff at 100 miles an hour, we cannot simply be content to be the party that slows it down to 95 just so we can sit in the front seat and wear the captain's hat.
But McCarthy supporters say now is not the time to shift gears, including the House Republican Caucus Chair Elise Stefanik, who calls him a happy warrior.
He cares deeply about his constituents, his country, and the American people, and that includes each and every one of his colleagues.
McCarthy telling reporters earlier he's an optimist while criticizing the motion to vacate led by Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz.
These are the same ones who opposed me before, and so they're turning the floor over to the Democrats.
Earlier today, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries confirming Democrats will vote in favor of ousting McCarthy as Speaker, meaning he can only afford to lose a handful of Republicans. That happened once already when a motion to table Gaetz's effort was rejected. Meantime, in the Senate,
the chair lays before the Senate a certificate of appointment to fill the unexpected term created by the death of the late Senator Dianne Feinstein of the state of California.
Vice President Kamala Harris swearing in LaFonza Butler, a longtime Democratic fundraiser and strategist appointed by the California governor to fill Feinstein's seat. A big sell-off on Wall Street with jobs data fueling more inflation concerns. The Dow down 430 at the bell, but back over 33K. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Rain back in your forecast. Sunny at 88 downtown. You've got a clear radar, low of 60 degrees tonight with mostly clear skies. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Indy might get some rain in a few days. John Hayrick reports.
It'll be sunny with highs in the 80s Tuesday and Wednesday, but then you can expect rain Thursday.
85% chance of rain starting Thursday morning, and there could even be a rumble of thunder as well.
Matt Eckhoff is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service.
And that rain is because a cold front is rapidly approaching the area from the northwest. And that cold front is going to be what brings the big change coming later this week into the weekend.
He says some places in Indiana will only have highs in the 50s Saturday and Sunday. John Herbeck, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There was a fatal crash in Johnson County this morning after an SUV wrecked into a utility pole and the driver was thrown from the car. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office says it happened about 3 miles south of downtown Franklin, just west of US 31 before 6 in the morning. Investigators are trying to figure out what led to the crash. The man charged with killing 3 people while speeding away from Indy police was in court today. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Luis Leyva Gonzalez suffered only minor injuries when he drove his Dodge Challenger through a red light and collided with another car near Mithofer Road and 10th Street on the city's east side last week. 2 passengers in the car Gonzalez was driving were killed. He also killed the driver of the other vehicle that he collided with. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Some Indy workers are making $13 an hour. Some residents think they deserve more.
That's poverty wage that you guys are passing, these billion-dollar budgets that you're passing. I encourage you to pass a resolution for $19 minimum wage.
Resident Eddie Hager spoke during a public input at yesterday's City County Council meeting. A final vote on a proposed $1.5 billion spending plan is in 2 weeks. The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.57. That's according to GasBuddy.com. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
You probably know how much money you've saved in your IRA or 401k, correct?
Oh, I know to the penny, Casey, and I work in radio, so it's not that much.
Okay, well, here's another question. Do you know how much you'll owe in taxes on this money in retirement?
Absolutely not, because I'm an idiot, Casey. That's why I seek the help of trained professionals.
Well, that's the most important number you really need to know, Rob. Otherwise, you're not going to know how much money you really do have.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k. Just go to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. That's SaveTaxesWithBill.com. Just input a few numbers and you'll instantly see how much money you could save in taxes when you retire. It's from Bill Dimry, our good friend right here in Indy.
Don't give the government a nickel more in taxes than you have to. Learn how much money you could save in taxes when you retire by going to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. It's SaveTaxesWithBill.com.
The traffic on the 5s at 4:05. Here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, we have a crash MLK north of Fall Creek Parkway. Let's look at westbound 70 in Hendricks County. It is stopped for over 2.5 miles from Ronald Reagan Parkway to State Road 267. They're fixing a hole in the road. Right lane closed. Could be done by 5 o'clock. Let's hope. Eastbound 465 stop and go south side Kentucky Avenue past the White River. Eastbound 70 slows to downtown after Tibbs to West Street, and inbound 65 stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop the 93rd anniversary sale at Grand Appliance for unbeatable prices on top brands like Whirlpool, Electrolux, LG, Samsung, and more. Visit grandappliance.com for complete details. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For today, mostly sunny skies or high temperatures into the mid-80s. Tonight, another mostly clear night, low temperatures in the low to mid-60s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
Mr. Speaker, pursuant to Clause 2A1 of Rule 9, I rise to give notice of my intent to raise a question of the privileges of the House. Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
Well, there you go. That's Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz last night filed a motion to oust the Speaker of the House. I didn't mean to rhyme there. Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy. Now, Hammer, Kevin McCarthy lost the vote to dismiss the motion to vacate the chair. Right? So the House voted against Speaker Kevin McCarthy's leadership. Matt Gaetz' motion to vacate, moving ahead. I think they're voting now, as a matter of fact.
The vote is live. It just got going, and of course, we will keep you up to date. A majority is needed for whichever way you want to look at this. For Kevin McCarthy to keep his gig, he needs the majority. Or to kick him out, that side has to have the majority as well.
10 Republicans voted against blocking the challenge, including our own Congresswoman Victoria Spartz. And so basically, if I'm reading this right, if I'm looking at the numbers here, I'm not a math whiz, but if a half a dozen Republicans support this motion to vacate, they're voting on right now, then he's going to need help, he being House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, from the Democrats, and he won't get it.
And it's going to be close. Again, the roll vote is happening right now. It takes a little while, but we will have results during this program.
And why is this all happening, Hammer? Because Matt Gaetz doesn't like Kevin McCarthy and some of the back alley, back behind closed doors deals he said Democrats have made.
Right. So go back to when Kevin McCarthy was named Speaker of the House. It's really because some of the guys in the Freedom Caucus, led by Matt Gaetz, said, look, we're going to put you in this position. You can't do it without our support, but you're not going to be one of these wishy-washy, big spending Republicans. We want some things written down that you have to do for us.
There were deals put in place for them to vote him in, which it took them like 5 or 10 times to do initially.
And now Matt Gaetz is saying Kevin McCarthy has not lived up to that deal. And things kind of came to a head this weekend when that 45-day kick the can down the road, fund the government bill was passed through. Because while that bill does not have extra money for Ukraine in it, Matt Gaetz is saying that McCarthy was working with the Democrats on a separate bill behind everybody's back that would indeed send more money to Ukraine. And that's what drove Matt Gaetz to this point. Now, I'm going to play you some audio here. Allison, go ahead and turn my computer up. This was just a few minutes ago on the House floor, the debate before the vote. Here is Florida's Matt Gaetz.
I don't think voting against Kevin McCarthy is chaos. I think $33 trillion in debt is chaos. I think that facing a $2.2 trillion annual deficit is chaos. I think that not passing single subject spending bills is chaos. I think the fact that we have been governed in this country since the mid-90s by continuing resolution and omnibus is chaos. And the way to liberate ourselves from that is a series of reforms to this body that I would hope would outlast Speaker McCarthy's time here, would outlast my time here, and would outlast either of our majorities. Reforms that I have heard some of the most conservative members of this body fight for, and some of the...
And that was Matt Gaetz on the floor just about 20 minutes ago before the voting began to oust Kevin McCarthy as the Speaker. Now, early this morning, Matt Gaetz, of course, all eyes are on him, the cameras are on him. He talks about the economy and how the United States dollar is in jeopardy here, and this is another reason why changes have to be made.
You saw U.S. News say that the number one economic trend of 2023 is de-dollarization globally. This worries me. You all get all worked up that there's going to be some uncomfortable, chaotic moment, that I'll feel pressure from conservatives or Democrats or whomever. I feel the judgment of history. I feel the weight of that. I worry that when the history books are written about this country going down, that my name is going to be on the board of directors here. And if this country's going down and if we're losing the dollar, I am going down fighting. And I don't care if that means fighting Republicans, Democrats, the Uniparty, the leadership, the PACs, the lobbyists. I've had it. I've been here 7 years. I am through with it, but the only path forward here is to have single subject spending bills that can be reviewed, amended, considered, and I think that is the responsible way that our legislatures all over this country operate for good reason.
Certainly down with single subject spending bills that doesn't have a bunch of pork and other crazy spending involved, that you have to vote on it and then read it. Like Nancy Pelosi famously once said, we got to vote the bill in to see what's in it. So I'm certainly down with certain aspects of what Gaetz is doing.
The question is, does Matt Gaetz have enough friends to vote along with him? Yesterday, Jim Banks came on our show and basically said that it's a little silly for the Republicans to be fighting right now.
But I don't support the motion to vacate, replacing the Speaker. At this point, that doesn't make any sense to me. And frankly, I'm worried about the alternative. Some of these yahoos want to prop up another guy to replace McCarthy with that voted for amnesty and a bunch of transgender bills. He's hostile to Donald Trump, who's going to be our Republican nominee. So how are we better off with replacing McCarthy with a guy like that?
And the update on this roll call vote is that Jim Banks basically abstained. So it's kind of like he didn't vote at all in this roll call vote in regards to the Speaker of the House.
And then some of these other guys that don't like McCarthy, some of these more, ultra-right people like Lauren Boebert just voted to keep McCarthy. Her vote was like, yes, he's staying.
Would you like to hear from Joe Biden, his thoughts on what's happening with the Republicans and Kevin McCarthy? This is from whoever's running the POTUS account, because you know damn well Joe Biden isn't. Quote, Speaker McCarthy and the majority of House Republicans must keep their word and secure passage of the support needed to help Ukraine as it defends itself. So right there, that kind of makes the case for Matt Gaetz that McCarthy was making back alley deals to keep funding Ukraine.
And you know, when Chuck Schumer comes out after they passed the 45-day stopgap, he was ecstatic. He was glowing. He was smiling. And he was talking about this being a bipartisan thing. And we are going to keep our promise to Ukraine, even though there's nothing in this certain 45-day stopgap about Ukraine specifically. But this is what Gates was talking about. Back alley, behind closed doors deals with the Democrats. Look, it's not going to be in this bill, but we'll get something done in another separate bill.
How would you like to be McCarthy and you go out there and say, I'm not making back alley deals, and the official POTUS Twitter account says, come on now, we need you to honor that deal that we had together to fund Ukraine. I mean, that's not a good look. Now, Joe Biden was actually asked about this tweet from a reporter earlier, and this is what he had to say.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping.
Oh, okay. Very clear.
You got me with that one.
Very concise. Thank you.
I thought we had a legit clip from Biden there. He's talking about the foothills of the Himalayas with Xi Jinping. That actually never happened.
Kentucky Rep. Thomas Massey, quote, from my perspective, the House has been functioning better, more transparently, and more conservatively with Speaker McCarthy than it did with Speaker Boehner or Speaker Ryan. We have issues, but replacing Speaker McCarthy won't magically fix them. In fact, it could get worse. So the vote is happening right now. We will keep you up to date on the final tally. This is like the worst episode of The Bachelor ever. We're going to find out who the Speaker of the House is here. Coming up after a look at traffic with Matt Bear.
All right, Hammer, looking at a stalled vehicle. It is northbound 69 before 96th Street. The fast lane is blocked. Slow down back to 82nd Street. Some stop-and-go traffic. Just like southbound 465 after Keystone Avenue down to East 56th Street. That's a construction zone. Inbound 65 stop-and-go from 29th to Meridian Bend. Eastbound 70 jams after Tibbs Avenue to West Street, and the south side eastbound 465 slowing at I-70. Westbound 70 Hendricks stop from 267 from Ronald Reagan to 267. Traffic sponsored by Mecum Auctions. Mecum Auctions returns to the Indiana State Fairgrounds October 5th through the 7th with 1,000 muscle cars, classics, Corvettes, trucks, and more. Register to bid at Mecum.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for Insta traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And again, we're doing the show, so we have our headphones on. We're talking to you guys. We're keeping our eye on this roll call vote. And from what I've been able to understand, Jim Banks' name was called twice, and he did not vote. So take that for what you will. Again, I cannot confirm that, but this is what is being sent to us. This is what's on social media. Jim Banks did not vote in this roll call vote to decide the future of Kevin McCarthy. We'll look into that. We'll get back with you right now. Sunshine, 87 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is This Anything is next. How would you like to free up some serious cash so you can dig yourself out of debt, pay off some credit cards, or maybe you want to do some remodeling around the house right now? With Loan Pronto, you can get cash out right now, and you can pay off some of those ridiculous 27% interest credit cards, or you could put on that new deck or an additional room that you've wanted on your house. With Loan Pronto, you can get $50,000 or $100,000 out right now. As a matter of fact, you can access about 90% of your home's value. So you can get tens of thousands of dollars out, and the best part, very little paperwork, and usually without an appraisal. Loan Pronto, they make this so incredibly easy so you can live your best life. All you have to do is call them and start the conversation. 317-953-6525. 953-6525. 953-6525. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
The future of joint pain relief is here. It's QC Kinetics, advanced regenerative medicine. Tony Katz here. And if you've been told more steroids or surgery are your only options, don't be so fast. Get a second opinion and learn more about how you can harness your body's own healing agents to attack that joint pain. QC Kinetics doesn't mask the pain. These treatments go to the very root of the problem, using concentrated healing properties placed directly in your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue. No more pain in your knees knees, your hips, your shoulder, your back, with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. With demand so strong, they are expanding their hours at QC Kinetics to include Saturday appointments. Call the local medical professionals and get a free consultation today at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. QC Kinetics is in Eagle Creek, in Greenwood, and now in Carmel. 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. QC Kinetics. 317-559-PAIN.
Next year, Indiana Republicans will have the choice to pick our next U.S. Senator. But if it's up to Mitch McConnell and the D.C. swamp, we'll have no choice. The Washington elite and political insiders are trying to rig this election for their hand-picked career politician ally, Jim Banks. That's why conservative businessman and Indiana farmer John Rust has stepped up to fight for us. As a lifelong conservative, John believes we need an outsider's voice that's focused on Hoosiers. John Rust is committed to fighting the woke liberal mob, defending seniors by protecting Social Security, and creating an economy that works for middle-class families, not D.C. insiders. While Jim Banks and Mitch McConnell are focused on keeping power for themselves, John Rust is focused on putting Indiana first. Career politicians like Jim Banks are always talking about solving problems. But we can trust businessmen like John Rust to actually get the job done.
I'm U.S. Senate candidate John Rust, and I approve this message.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
Oh, yeah, Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I will run some stories by you. You will be the one that breaks down all the information, and you give us a verdict. Is the story anything or not? A woman was caught with her pants literally off while waiting in line at an airport in Florida. Here is the now infamous video that a bystander took while commenting on this half-naked woman waiting in the line, exposing everyone to her bare butt cheeks.
Spirit Airlines, half naked. What is this going on in 2023? Lord, give me strength. I say no drawers. I wonder if Spirit gonna let this happen today. Spirit, you gonna let this happen? No drawers. Look at the woman.
No drawers. I can't even retweet it because it's so graphic. I don't even really understand what I'm looking at. The best I could come up with is, yes, of course, this is something, but I think the she's wearing a dress, but it's so short and it's cinched up and exposed her butt cheeks. And it's like sort of, I can't explain it. I can't retweet it. because,
Thanks.
Because I can't, it looks like she's naked standing in line waiting to check her bags. At the airport, yes, this is something. I'd have to turn my kids' heads away if this was something, if this was true.
What is it about a-holes at the airport?
Oh, wasn't there another bald a-hole walking through the airport?
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Big, ball-headed goon walking through the airport concourse, buck naked. Stop. Why? I don't know. I feel like Biden here.
Yeah. Anyway.
So we have an update on a story from yesterday where this woman is suing a Disney water park for injuries suffered on a water slide that caused a, quote, horrific wedgie.
Yes.
You remember this story, right? A certain law group has taken over this investigation. Hammer and Nigel Legal Services.
Attention.
If you or a family member have suffered a wedgie due to an amusement park water attraction, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call the Wedgie Law Group, the nation's premier wedgie law firm, specializing in water slide wedgies, frontal wedgies, hanging wedgies, slide wedgies, chair wedgies, propeller wedgies, messy wedgies, and atomic wedgies. And if you were a victim of a wedgie while stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be eligible for substantial additional compensation.
Wedgie Law Group, we'll pull it out.
Don't take it in the shorts. Call the Wedgie Law Group now at 888-888-888-888-888-WEDGIE.
By the way, okay, update on this woman with a wedgie or seemingly not wearing pants at all in line at the airport. I was able to find an appropriate picture that I could retweet.
Good, because you really sold us a big story and then said, I can't talk
it.
about it and I can't show you a picture.
Go to look at it right now, click on the link, and you'll understand why.
All right, hold on.
Because even the New York Post had to blur it out.
Oh, come on, man. Nobody wants to see that. It's never the people that you want to see naked.
Look at this.
Look at that. Look at that big old butt.
Replay the lady, Allison. Replay the lady that was doing the play-by-play.
Spirit Airlines, half naked. What this is going on in 2023? Lord, give me strength. I say no draws. I wonder if Spirit gonna let this happen today.
Hammer, okay, so you think this picture, go to @Hammer and Nigel. Do you think she's doing this on purpose, or do you think the dress has just kind of got cinched up and got like a wedgie, like we were talking about yesterday, some sort of really awkward, awful dress wedgie?
That's probably the case, but how do you not know that you're showing everyone your full butt?
And if you're behind her in line, do you say something?
You have to. Excuse me, ma'am, I can see your anus is probably one thing that I would start that conversation with.
Didn't even expect I was going to use the word anus while standing in line at the airport, but there's a woman showing me hers as I'm about to hop on this plane.
And watch me be the one that's randomly selected to get the pat down.
Well, there's no need to do a pat down with this woman. You can see everything as it is.
See the photo right now @Hammer and Nigel.
That is exquisite.
On last night's Monday Night Football Manning cast between Peyton and Eli, Will Ferrell was their guest. So they're interviewing Will Ferrell during the game, and Peyton Manning asked Will to rate Eli's delivery of the famous line in the movie Wedding Crashers, Ma, the meatloaf.
Okay.
Now, this is the real scene with Will Ferrell.
Hey, Ma, can we get some meatloaf? Hey, Mom, the meatloaf. We want it now. The meatloaf. Ma, the meatloaf.
Really, one of the better cameos ever in a comedy is Will Ferrell as Chaz in Wedding Crashers.
And here's how it sounded with Will Ferrell and Eli last night.
Meatloaf. Meatloaf. On a scale of 1 to 10, is Eli's Will Ferrell impression a 1 or a 2?
I'll say like a 1.1.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. You rushed it a little bit.
I gotta yell at my mom.
There's some rage behind it. This guy had some rage, so it was more like,
number 84.
Ma, meatloaf!
10-yard penalty. First down.
Like, I gotta hear the...
meatloaf!
But a little more growl. Ma, meatloaf!
Ma, meatloaf!
Why did you drag it up? Ma! Why did you drag it out like that? Just
It's
bark
like a
it.
southern draw thing. It's a
Ma,
southern draw,
meatloaf! All right.
My mom's starting to come down here. She's freaking out. She doesn't know what's going on. She's getting concerned.
Ma!
That anything?
Ma! Yeah, you try it. Ma!
Meatloaf!
Yeah, Allison, you got to try it.
We want it now!
Remember, take Will Ferrell's advice. Got to be really, it's like a rage thing.
Ma, meatloaf!
I don't think that's what Will Ferrell had in mind, but...
Allison, that reminded me of another movie. That reminded me of Bad Santa, where Billy Bob Thornton's trying to teach Thurman Merman to fight. You got to yell. You got to get mad. That's what that reminded me of.
Oh, wow, Allison, that was wonderful. Maybe we'll drag you out on stage tomorrow night at A Night with WIBC and make you say that.
Oh,
Demand some meatloaf from somebody in the crowd.
Tony, meatloaf!
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Joe Hogsett.
been a politician for 34 years, and that's a lot of photo ops. But when riots broke out downtown, when police needed a mayor, there's no photo of Joe Hogsett. He was nowhere to be found. Since then, violent crimes off the chart. Police leaving the force. We're now 300 cops short. As a result, 2 out of 3 homicides now go unsolved. Indy is in crisis, and we need a mayor, not photo op Joe.
Not too long ago, Indy hosted a Super Bowl. We welcomed the world. We had a belief in our city back then, that Indy could be magnetic, dynamic. Now, crime makes us feel unwelcome in our own neighborhoods. Joe Hogsett tried to do something about it. It's gotten steadily worse. Jefferson Shreve isn't running on a promise to try. He's running on a plan. Learn more about Shreve's plan at shreveformayor.com.
Paid for by Shreve for Mayor.
Hammer and Nigel here. When it comes to health, there are numbers every man needs to know, including your testosterone number. We recommend Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's only $25. Walk in, take a simple blood test, and you'll know results in about 25 minutes.
Low T can make you feel tired and grumpy. It can cause lack of motivation and drive. It can raise cholesterol, cause weight gain, loss of muscle mass. LowTCenter.com. Book online right now. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Well, my new Galaxy concrete garage floor is truly out of this world. They came in within a day, turned my old garage floor. It had never been taken care of. The house is 40 years old. There was cracks. It had faded. Within a day, they turned it into something brand new, 4 times as strong. They don't use epoxy, by the way. They use something called polyurea. That's the new industry standard. And with Galaxy, the manufacturer just upgraded the warranty from 15 years to life. Check out pictures on their website before and after, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They're voting now. 88 and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. All clear on the radar. You can expect a low of about 60 degrees tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:30. Republicans in the House aren't getting along over the future of House Speaker Kevin McCarthy.
Give me money. I filed the motion to vacate. Using official actions to raise money. It's disgusting. It's what's disgusting about Washington.
Louisiana Republican Garrett Graves talking about Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, who wants McCarthy removed as Speaker. The vote on McCarthy's future is happening now. President Biden's son Hunter has pleaded not guilty to felony gun charges. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
Federal prosecutors have charged Hunter Biden with making false statements about drug use when he purchased a gun in 2018. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says she won't detail private conversations the president has with his son during the process.
I've said this many times. You've heard it from the president. The president loves his son. He's going to continue to support him as he rebuilds his life.
A special prosecutor initially appointed by former President Trump is leading the years-long investigation into Hunter Biden that has also become a focal point of House Republicans' impeachment inquiry of President Biden. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The state police say a semi was going westbound on US 20 near County Road too fast, and it crashed, which spilled steel all over both lanes in Steuben County Monday night. The semi also caught on fire from a fuel spill. The driver escaped through the windshield before the whole semi started burning. They're okay, but were handed a speeding ticket. Highs in the 80s both today and tomorrow in Indiana.
And this is because there is a very large ridge of high pressure overhead, and that means basically the jet stream is all the way up in Canada, which is more typical of summer. So we get all that heat from the south just flowing northward.
Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service says that will change Thursday when things start to cool down, and nearly the entire state is expected to get some rain. Stocks down today. The Dow falling by 430 to 33,002. The Nasdaq dropped by 248 to 13,059. The S&P 500 fell by 58, closing at 4,229. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:32.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zerorez, and you and I both know that the carpets and floors don't clean themselves. And in fact, they can get so bad that they're way scarier than any Halloween script could imagine. How about a gentle cleaning to soothe your home into a wonderful fall retreat with the patented ZR water? Really, it's a great time to clean the carpets, and it's quick and easy to schedule online. Nobody but Zerorez has the patented electrolyzed ZR water that cleans with no soap, no harsh chemicals, and no residue to attract more dirt. They can even clean your ductwork to help you breathe easier. Duct cleaning improves the air quality in your home as well as the efficiency of your HVAC equipment. Zero Res gets all the yuck out for a fresh fall cleaning with no tricks, just great technicians skilled in thoroughly cleaning up dirt and stains. Schedule online today at zeroresindy.com and mention WIBC. You'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $149, and they'll give you a free hallway and $50 off air duct cleaning too. For a smarter, lasting clean and really easy scheduling, visit zeroresindy.com.
With traffic at 433, what's going on, Map Air?
Harrison westbound 70 is stopped right now before Ronald Reagan Parkway up to State Road 267 because of road construction. Emergency maintenance blocking the right lane could be done by 5 p.m. Eastbound 72 downtown stop and go. Tibbs Avenue to West Street. Lawrence southbound 465. This is awful. We are stopped traffic after Keystone Avenue. And then we move through the eastbound southbound lanes down to East 56th Street. Barely moving at all. That's a stall northbound 69 shy of 96, blocking the left lane and stopping traffic into 465. That whole area is a zoo. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Bear at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
After a warm day, enjoy a mild night. Temperatures falling to the 60s tonight, warming back to the 80s tomorrow. Under mostly sunny skies, by afternoon will increase cloud cover and rain chances. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Hammer right over there with a special guest on the 93 WIBC hotline.
Rick Snyder is the president of the Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86. He joins us. Rick, I wanted to get you on the show to talk about what we're hearing from the state police as well as the assistant chief of police calling out the criminal justice system. Not just prosecutors, but judges, the whole system here in Marion County. And we're going to do that. We're going to get to that in just a moment. But I want to let you give your perspective on this situation where 2 officers have been charged for that shooting of the guy in his driveway that took place New Year's Eve into New Year's Day.
Yeah, guys, I think it's a terrible example that reminds us that anytime officers are required to use force, especially force to defend their lives against any perception of a deadly threat, it's a tragedy for everyone involved, not just the subjects that the officers are interacting with, but for the officers and their families as well. And I think what we're finding in this situation, and as people learn more about what the actual facts are relative to the context of how this occurred, I think people are seeing that it really starts to become a classic case of a 20/20 hindsight type of case, meaning this, is that much of the information that you've heard, just quite frankly, as you just relayed, the guy in his driveway, none of which was known until after the fact. And I think that it's vitally important that the community keep in mind that facts matter, and you got to stay focused on what the officers knew at the time rather than holding them accountable for information that was learned after the fact. It's to the extent that even the U.S. Supreme Court has strictly forbidden any type of analysis or judgment of officers' actions utilizing information that was learned after the fact, yet that's what's been relayed through the media by plaintiffs' attorneys and others as well. As it relates to the charges filed against the officers, this was done through a grand jury proceeding. I think it's important to remember that no one knows exactly what was presented in terms of information to the grand jury and what information was not presented. We look forward to learning that as the facts and circumstances in this are fully evaluated in a court of law. But it's important to remember that the Marion County prosecutor, especially this prosecutor here, is under no obligation to present any evidence to the grand jury that outlines any defenses of the officers. And so that's why we've said it's a half-baked case. I think when the facts come out, we'll see that we should never have been in a criminal court of law to begin with, and that this will have a chilling effect on officers within Indianapolis and the actions that they take. Listen, again, the Supreme Court made these decisions because they know that no officer should be having to second-guess themselves in the very split second they're having to defend their lives. Nobody should, as a matter of fact, and especially officers who are sent out there to do these things on our behalf, to investigate calls for service to investigate possible crimes and to also assist and help those folks who are in need. No officer should be hesitating in that moment because more people can be hurt. And just as importantly, they shouldn't be worrying about politically motivated officials and what the ramifications of their actions are going to be. That's why the Supreme Court impaneled these types of rules to judge their actions.
Rick, just by listening to your answer right there and the way that you've described things, I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, but it feels like there's more evidence in this specific situation than what was presented at the grand jury. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I think you go by public statements, right? Prosecutor Mears said in the announcement of these charges that this case was going to be about reasonableness. That's good because that's exactly what the Supreme Court uses as their basis for judging the actions of the officers. But just as importantly is there has to be firm, fair, and consistent review of those actions. And that analysis has to include the full context. Remember, you have to answer the questions. Why were the officers there? What were the actions that the subject took? And then what were the officers' reaction to that? Listen, what you have been presented with publicly is this false flag narrative that officers shot somebody in their grandmother's driveway while they were asleep. That's not correct. Information was learned after the fact that this turned out to be a known subject, but the officers were sent there in response to a call for help. And again, they're responding to actions that are presented to them. And I think the biggest basis for this is otherwise you're really saying, is it being suggested that these officers, simply awoken the subject by opening fire on someone sleeping in a driveway? I think the question is what changed, what happened, and a firm, fair, and consistent review of why the officers took the actions that they took. Final thing I will say on this, it's been very unfortunate in all of this. Plaintiff's attorney in a press conference immediately injected the factor and the issues of race into this discussion. Nothing could be further from the truth. There's been nothing to suggest that race played a role in this at all. Yet he said that these officers suggested that they took their actions because this was a black male in a violent neighborhood. To do so means that one of the two officers charged, who happens to be a black male, he is suggesting that he took his actions because of racism toward a black male in a neighborhood. I think it's a farce. I think it's unnecessarily adding to the discussions that are occurring, and we can do better than that as a community.
And Rick, you mentioned this earlier. No officer should have to second guess their actions in the split second that they are trying to defend their lives. Like you said, that could cost them their lives. It could cost other people they're trying to protect their lives. And not to mention that if I'm somebody thinking about joining the IMPD and you guys are already short-staffed, your recruiting goals have not been met, if I'm somebody that's seeing what's going on right now with the prosecution of these two officers, and wait, they only had 2 or 3 seconds to make a decision here, and now they're being prosecuted, that would not make me want to immediately go and sign up to be an IMPD officer.
Well, and I think it proves the point that, listen, when cops believe that they'll start going to prison for doing routine police work, they will stop doing routine police work. And when cop families believe that they're going to be harassed, sued, threatened, all these other things for the dangerous work that officers are doing on our behalf, they'll stop doing those dangerous things. And that's why we say this, that while the outcome of this incident was unfortunate, nobody is debating that, it does not make it criminal. So we're confident that now that it's reached the level of a criminal court, that a jury will see that the actions of the officers were reasonable. But to your point, Nigel, it's why we also said in our statement today that we congratulate Prosecutor Ryan Mears for being the top recruiter for police agencies outside of Marion County as our Indy officers are heading for the exits. It could be why you have over 300 officers short on the IMPD and why they are fleeing to go to other agencies. Listen, they will go to other communities where they don't have to fear going to jail for simply doing their job. And that's what's occurring here. Listen, surrounding agencies are ordering their officers not to take police actions within Marion County or even follow criminals into Marion County because they're concerned about the bogus actions that this prosecutor will take toward their officers. What's that mean, guys? It means that this prosecutor is artificially creating a sanctuary city for criminal offenders, violent offenders, and lawlessness. Now, listen, to your earlier point, This has been generated and brought up now by multiple groups and individuals, not just us as the FOP. Remember, the FOP voted no confidence, not just in this prosecutor, but also our Marion County criminal court system. We then had the Indianapolis mayor, don't forget this, who said he has no confidence in this prosecutor to the extent that he's making his own city prosecutors to expressly bypass the Marion County court system and the Marion County prosecutor, of which Mayor Hogsett called it a revolving door, finally, his words, and he's taken it to the federal level. You also have an assistant chief of police who has said that the police are doing their job in Indianapolis, but he and our city need the criminal court system and the prosecutor to do their job. And then just this week, you have the superintendent of the state police say that not only is the system broken, but it's broken so badly, guys, that it threatens our society if something does not happen. So we can no longer shrug this off. It begs the question, where do we go from here?
And Rick, listen, we've let everybody know how we feel about the prosecutor, Ryan Mears. We've let everybody know how we feel about the mayor, Joe Hogsett. But it's more to it than that. It's some of these ridiculous judges. And most recently, the thing I think that really put guys like Doug Carter, the superintendent of the state police, over the top was a Holcomb-appointed judge named Jennifer Harrison, who's got a history of going soft on crime here in Marion County as well. So when we're talking about all the reasons why things are a dumpster fire in Marion County, I think it's important to talk about some of these judges as well.
Well, and here's the point, guys. Obviously, I've been doing it. I've been doing it publicly to the extent that we had the Bar Association that issued a letter condemning my comments for actually having the audacity to question the decisions of judges in the court system. Think about that for just a moment. People within the same profession are saying, how dare you question an entire branch of our government in the decisions that they're making? When that happens and they try to silence my voice, the superintendent's voice, the chief of police's voice, or the citizen out here, their voice, we've got bigger problems. They are not above reproach. And quite frankly, many of the decisions that our judges are making are atrocious. And we're seeing horrible outcomes that are coming from those. Hence, you see the statements from the Indiana State Police Superintendent. Listen, remember, guys, that incident revolved around a person crashing a car and killing 3 people. Now, you've heard and you've seen ad nauseum Marion County elected officials, especially city county councilors, coming out of the woodwork, many of which said we need to defund the police or not support the police and condemn the police and all these things, but said we need the police to do more aggressive traffic enforcement to drive down the numbers of traffic fatalities in our county. Yet when one occurred in here and we found that person then got out on a low bond, those same elected officials have stood silent. Now, listen, we talk about gun violence in the city of Indianapolis, but think about this. A 2,000-pound car is the equivalent of 71,174 bullets. And this person plowed into somebody, as the superintendent said, is alleged to have plowed into this person and removed their car engine from their car, killing this female. And we have decisions coming out of the court system like this with low bonds letting these people out. Now, here's the other interesting point. Today, at the hearing for that suspect, we are told that a request was made for media cameras to be in the courtroom to capture the actions of the court relative to that case. And do you know what the judge did? Denied the ability for the cameras to be in there to capture the decisions that were being made today.
What do you know?
Now, in the effort of transparency, what the hell is that?
Man, it's a hot mess, and all we can say is thank you to the officers that are out there on the streets doing things right, protecting the city, because I pray for these people, man, because Ryan Mears does not care about them. This is a mayor that's made it perfectly clear he's fine with throwing police officers under the bus. For anybody that puts on that uniform and goes out on the streets of Marion County right now, if you see these people, tell them thank you.
That's exactly right. And guys, remember, as of today, 892 people shot, 169 of those killed in 275 days. 892 people shot or stabbed. Guys, that's an average of 3.24 people being shot or stabbed every single day and a person being killed every 39 hours. Our officers are not out here operating in the vacuum. They know these levels of violence better than anybody because they are on the front lines. They're not wearing black robes. They're not hiding behind a judge's bench. They're not hiding in a courtroom free from public scrutiny from media cameras. They're out here with cameras on them doing jobs that we're asking them to do to combat this violence. We not only owe them a debt of gratitude, but we also owe them the ability for due process and a firm, fair, and consistent review of their actions, which are free from political influence.
Rick Snyder, President, Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge 86. Rick, we always appreciate your time, your honesty, and as always, tell your officers, the Hammer and Nigel Show, we got their back.
Thank you, guys. Please continue to pray for us.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Have you saved enough? Do you have a plan for Social Security and taxes in retirement? Hey, Casey Weed of Howard Bailey Financial, where our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we want to give you our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you can't outlive. Plus, you'll receive a copy of my book, Job Optional. To get your complimentary toolkit, call or text the keyword INFO 42 to 866-482-9559. That's INFO 42 to 866-482-9559.
Howard Bailey Financial is the official wealth management partner of Notre Dame Athletics. Notre Dame Athletics was compensated for this endorsement and is not a current client of Howard Bailey. For more information, please visit howardbailey.com/ND disclosure. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Really good news for those of you that want to get engaged this fall, but you thought you missed out on Diamonds Direct big sale due to the overwhelming response. Diamonds Direct's most popular finance offer ever is being extended. You now have until this Saturday at 5 o'clock to take advantage of this once-a-year offer. Now through Saturday, make any purchase, and you can spread your payments over 5 years with zero finance charges, no interest for 5 whole years. Where else in America can you get a finance rate of 0.0?
Everything is included. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, pendants, all designer, fashion jewelry, colored gemstones, certified diamonds. This is the deal. And with interest rates going higher and higher everywhere else, Diamonds Direct coming to the rescue with this amazing offer. But you got to hurry. This opportunity ends Saturday, and it will not be extended again. 5 years, zero interest, everything in that beautiful showroom. Keystone at the Crossing, by the Green Bridge, or go to diamondsdirect.com. Be sure to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your independent, locally owned American Standard hometown dealer in Johnson County, Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling. Are you tired of the free air conditioner or furnace sketchy claims and want an honest quote with honest pricing from people who live and work in your community? Call Marshall Mechanical. Just go to callthemarshallnow.com to schedule an appointment. Financing options are available. Subject to credit approval, call for details. Marshall Mechanical Heating and Cooling, your American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer in Johnson County.
That's Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
Are you thinking about your next home improvement project, but you need more than a window replacement? Whether it's siding, entry doors, or maybe a bath or shower remodel, design it before you buy it. That's right. B's using the latest in technology to create an architectural design so you can see our products on your house before you purchase. Up to 50% off all products and 2.99% financing plus $550 installation credit.
Trust me.
Design it before you buy it. Up to 50% off all products and 2.99% financing plus $550 installation credit.
Tickets to Trans-Siberian Orchestra's The Ghost of Christmas Eve, The Best of TSO, and more at Gamebridge Fieldhouse on December 26th are on sale now. Purchase yours today and support local organization Sheltering Wings, whose mission is to provide emergency housing for survivors of domestic abuse. More info at WIBC.com.
The vote is final. McCarthy is out. We will talk about this right after we check the roads with Matt Baer.
Westbound 70 stop from the airport ramps down to 267. That is because of emergency repairs blocking the right lane, repairs to the interstate. Also southbound at 465 stop and go traffic through Lawrence beginning at Keystone Avenue down to East 56th Street. That is a construction zone. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, get a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to be. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
87 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Allison, cue up the band.
Hit the road, Jack.
Oh, boy.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more.
216 to 210. That is the final vote tally. And Speaker McCarthy has been ousted. The Republicans, 8 of them, turned on McCarthy, and he has been ousted as the Speaker of the House.
How many did you say? 8 Republicans?
Yes.
A quote from McCarthy earlier this morning. Hey, if 5 Republicans go with the Democrats, I'm out. But I'm confident I'll hold on. Well, 8 Republicans went with the Democrats, and you didn't hold on.
Gates, Good, Buck, In Your Face, Nancy Mace, Rosendale, Burkett, Biggs, and Crane were the Republicans that voted to oust McCarthy. Sparts, Mills, and Davidson, who voted against the tabling motion, ended up voting against outing McCarthy. So it's kind of an odd back and forth there.
So Gates went ahead with this motion to vacate after, he was pissed all weekend long over the Speaker's decision to get together this stopgap spending bill to avoid the partial government shutdown, but relied on Democrat votes to get this measure through. And he feels like Speaker McCarthy is not living up to the deal they agreed upon when they voted for him a few months ago.
All right, so we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll see if we can pull some audio of Matt Gaetz, who's talking to the press right now, and maybe we'll gauge the temperature of the WIBC audience. Where are you at with McCarthy being ousted? You good with this, or do you feel like Matt Gaetz is a little on the ridiculous side? We'll talk about all of this when we come back.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center, called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
We've created something special here in Carmel. I'm Sue Finkham, and it's here where I built my business and started a family and served as a leader on City Council, helping our community prosper and increasing government transparency. Now, we're America's #1 rated city, but we're just getting started. Lots of people talk about keeping Carmel the best city in America. But me, I'm the only one with the plan and experience to do it. I'm Sue Finkham. It's simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders. Introduce responsible budgeting so every cent spent benefits us. And ensure development doesn't endanger our community's one-of-a-kind character.
Sue Finkham, the only candidate with the experience and vision to keep Carmel the best city in America, partnering with police to keep our community safe and ensuring responsible development to help our community thrive.
Together, let's keep Carmel on the path to success.
On November 7th, vote Sue Finkham for mayor.
Paid for by Sue Finkham Victory Committee.
I love the Exercise Inc. program. I've been with Exercise Inc. for years. I don't have a lot of time to spend in a traditional gym. Now, Exercise Inc. is a once-a-week strength training program that only lasts for 20 minutes, but it gets you your full-body exercise. It gets you the physical movement your body needs in just 20 minutes, and it's a tough workout, but safe enough for anybody to do it. My mom is a member. My 18-year-old nephew is a member. I'm a member. Exercise Inc. saves me a bunch of time getting the physical activity my body craves, but I've lost 20 pounds following my personal trainer's guidance, diet, and eating habits and routines, and so I'm getting like one-on-one coaching inside the gym, but I'm getting help on what to do to stay active and live a healthier lifestyle outside the gym as well. Check out all the success stories at exerciseinc.com. They have locations all over town: Zionsville, Greenwood, Brownsburg, Avon, and the brand new one opening up soon in Fishers. Exercise Inc. Change your life in 20 minutes a week.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Are you tired of cleaning it up after every rain? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, a real, local, Indiana family-owned company. Even a small amount of water in your basement can lead to a huge amount of problems. Don't let your wet basement problem get worse. Call Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer, Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com. And ask about our easy, no-interest, no-payment financing.
Coming up in 2 minutes, another warm day tomorrow before some storms, an argument for city employees to be paid more money, and John Herrick reports on a college basketball rivalry renewed. That's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. The House Speaker is ousted on Lisa Brady minutes ago on the House floor.
The yeas are 216. The nays are 210. The resolution is adopted.
That vote in favor of the motion made by Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz to throw out Kevin McCarthy as Speaker.
The office of Speaker of the House of the United States House of Representatives is hereby declared vacant.
A historic move in the House after a passionate debate for and against McCarthy. Gaetz and other hard-right conservatives arguing that he broke promises, especially in debates over debt and spending cuts.
It's the benefit of this country that we have a better Speaker of the House than Kevin McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy couldn't keep his word. He made an agreement in January regarding the way Washington would work, and he violated that agreement.
Well, earlier today, McCarthy telling reporters his opponents were handing the House over to the Democrats for now. The House is in recess. No business possible until they choose a new House Speaker. The White House steering clear of leadership issues in Congress today, but former President Trump posting about it earlier on social media, asking why Republicans keep fighting each other. The Justice Department announces indictments targeting China-based companies for the flow of fentanyl to the U.S.
Attorney General Merrick Garland said death by fentanyl is an epidemic
that spans countries and continents.
He announced 8 indictments in Florida against companies based out of China that evidence shows made, sold, and distributed lethal drugs. Attorney General Garland said this emphasizes a focus across U.S. government
on breaking apart every link in the global fentanyl chain.
Sanctions will include freezing assets used to provide the drugs and seizing the product headed to cartels for distribution.
Fox's Gernal Scott. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Expect some rain in a couple days. Sunny and 88 downtown. All clear with the radar. Cloudy with a low of 60 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for the Michaelis Corporation. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Today's clear skies and warm temps will continue tomorrow.
And this is because there is a very large ridge of high pressure overhead, and that means basically the jet stream is all the way up in Canada, which is more typical of summer. So we get all that heat from the south just flowing northward.
Forecaster Matt Eckhoff says you could expect some rain Thursday when temperatures start to cool down. There was a fatal crash in Johnson County this morning. An SUV had wrecked into a utility pole. The driver was thrown from the car. The Johnson County Sheriff's Office says it happened about 3 miles south of downtown Franklin, just west of US 31 before 6 in the morning. Investigators are trying to figure out what caused the crash. After a woman who was found dead in Lawrence last Friday, police have arrested an Indianapolis man for murder. Sasha Nixon has the story.
Emergency responders found Natasha Highbow outside a home on North Franklin Road. Officers believe she had been shot and killed at some point in the night. Now Lawrence police have charged Oscar Guadardo Nunez with murder. The Marion County Prosecutor's Office should release more information in the near future. Sasha Nixon, 93. WIBC Mobile News.
Indy city workers need a living wage. That was the word from this resident at a city county council meeting last night.
The city employees, your neighbors, your family members that work for the city.
Eddie Hager told the council that $13 an hour is not a sustainable wage. A vote on a new spending plan happens in 2 weeks. It's been over a decade since IU men's basketball played Kentucky in the regular season.
In the states of Indiana and Kentucky. Big time atmosphere, though.
And now the athletic directors of both schools have made a deal that'll change that. I'm Chon Herrick. It'll last 4 years with both Kentucky and Indiana getting 2 home games in the series, and that series resumes in 2025 when Kentucky hosts Indiana. Between the two programs, they have 13 national titles and 25 Final Four appearances. Chon Herrick, 93, WIBC Mobile News.
You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Basements get a bad rap. Probably because so many of them are wet, leaky, and musty. Thanks to screenwriters, crawl spaces aren't very popular either. Michaelis is putting an end to the horror show. Their time-tested waterproofing systems eliminate and prevent water issues. Damp and moldy becomes clean and healthy. And their French drains, vapor barriers, and encapsulation techniques turn crawl spaces into a Disney set. Yeah, okay, that probably went a bit far. But with over 35 years experience, they have a lot of homeowners enjoying their basements again. Think Michaelis. And think how nice it would be to get rid of foundation cracks, basement leaks, damp smells, and all the nightmares that come with them. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
The traffic on the 5s at 5:05. Here's Matt Bear.
Yeah, Harrison, we have a 3.5 mile delay out by the airport. It starts before the airport ramps on westbound 70, runs all the way to State Road 267. It's because of emergency maintenance. It's a hole in the road they have to fix, and hopefully it'll be done here before too long. Look at the southbound 65 jams up from 38th Kessler down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 465 stop traffic from Keystone Avenue over to Allisonville Road. Then we are into the construction delay on the southbound side in Lawrence. That is stop and go before I-69 down to Penn Pike roadway cut in half until October 16th. The traffic sponsored by Boost Infinite. Hey, thinking of getting the latest iPhone? Think about the amazing wireless offer from Boost Infinite. For more, just dial pound 250 on your phone and say Boost Infinite. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto dial text message from the station. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
After a warm day, enjoy a mild night. Temperatures falling to the 60s tonight, warming back to the 80s tomorrow. Under mostly sunny skies, by afternoon will increase cloud cover and rain chances. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
Is Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz the most powerful Republican in
He's
the House
most
right now?
Popular with the Democrats right now, that's for sure.
Right.
Kevin McCarthy ousted as the House Speaker in a 216-210 vote 8 Republicans siding with the Democrats to kick Kevin McCarthy to the curb.
It's got to be some kind of record. That's some sort of first. The Speaker of the House of Representatives ousted by this floor vote with help from his own party.
Right. And really, this was Matt Gaetz' baby, the congressman from Florida.
Yep.
Now, he's kind of a flamethrower, but he was tired of the big spending. He was tired of swampy, alleged behind-the-scenes deals with the Democrats. So he brought this forward, and I'll be damned if he didn't pull it off. Let's hear from Matt Gaetz.
Here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, it's excellence, and nobody can handle my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. You ain't first, you're last.
That's Matt Gaetz from Florida.
You got me right there. I don't know. This whole thing seems like a mess. It's chaos. There's huge problems with the border. Like Matt Gaetz was saying, there's huge problems with spending. Just blank checks to Ukraine. I don't know if this was. Maybe we should check with our listeners.
Okay.
See what they think, because I think this is chaos right now. I think the Democrats are loving this, and the only reason I say Matt Gaetz is the most powerful Republican is because he has the help of the Democrats.
Yes, that's true.
And there was such a slim majority in the House.
239-9393. Let's take the little temperature here. Are you guys good with Kevin McCarthy being ousted as the Speaker? Or do you think Matt Gaetz is ridiculous, or the timing of this whole thing is bad? Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not mad Kevin McCarthy isn't the Speaker anymore. Trust me, I'm not. But on a day where Hunter Biden went to court, we're talking about impeachment proceedings against the big guy. We got drama at the border. The Republicans are rolling in every single poll that you see. Is this the best timing to make it look like you're one big dysfunctional family? 239-9393.
And you got to remember, this all culminated with the stopgap spending bill to avoid a partial government shutdown. And McCarthy relied on Democrat votes to get that measure through, which really, really pissed Gaetz off.
Right. Gaetz is under the impression, and maybe he's true, we don't know, that McCarthy was being sneaky and working behind everybody's back with the Democrats to send more money to Ukraine. And then a presidential tweet comes out from the official POTUS account. Now, again, Joe's not tweeting, but whoever runs his account basically confirmed that McCarthy was trying to come up with some sort of aid package to Ukraine.
I just got a text from one of my neighbors. Good effing riddance, McCarthy.
Is your neighbor Rob Kendall? Does Rob live next door to you?
I don't live in Brownsburg, no.
So we're just curious here. Where are you guys at with this? You good with this? Is this the perfect time to kick out a swamp monster? Or does this hamper or hurt the chances for 2024? Because, man, I want to win. I'm tired of fighting these infighting games. I want to win in 2024. Does this, what happened today, help that cause or not? Let's open it up. Brian's going to go first. Brian, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. What do you think?
I think we need to stand together as a party. I mean, if you want to take care of something, take him out behind the woodshed and kick his ass, as my mom used to say, and just show him, say, hey, we need to stand together. What you're doing is wrong. But to oust him, it just shows how fragile we are as a party. And now all of a sudden the Democrats are just going to say, oh, my God, look, they can't even get along amongst themselves. I mean, it's going down the toilet right there.
Thank you, Brian. Let's go to Sean. Sean, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'd have to agree with the previous caller and also you, Hammer. I'm concerned about 2024, and I think this shows some weakness within our own party. But at the same time, I'm also the guy that would want to draw a line in the sand and say, enough is enough. We're not going to continue to, put out all this money to Ukraine and all this other frivolous, pork belly spending that is hidden in all of these bills that are 3,000 pages long, and you get it at the 11th hour. So if McCarthy was a part of that, then by all means, he doesn't need to be leading the House, but we need to stand together and create a united front.
Got it. Thank you, Sean. Lisa, you are next up on the Hammer and Nigel show. Where are you at with the whole removal of McCarthy as the speaker, Lisa?
Lisa?
I agree with you, Hammer. This is the wrong time. We have so many issues with our government. Hey, we're going to shut down in less than 45 days. They need to be working on that, and they need to learn, like kindergarten, to play together in the sandbox.
Yeah, I'm with you, Lisa. Now, again, let's not get it twisted here. I think McCarthy is a swamp rat.
Yeah.
But the timing of this is a little problematic for me.
I got a message from my neighbor. How can anyone not be happy that that spending MFer is bounced? Republicans and Democrats are exactly identical with about 5 or 8 exceptions. McCarthy is evil.
That's true. Again, if you would have told me in January or February, hey, we're going to get rid of McCarthy. I know we just named him the speaker, but we're going to bounce him out of here. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But right now, I just see every poll showing Biden's underwater, Hunter's in court. There's impeachment proceedings going on. You kind of own the cycle right now. Even people that vote Democrat look around this country and they see the hell that we're in and are considering voting Republican. But now the timing of this all, we show the entire world how fractured we are as a party. I'm not mad at what Matt Gaetz did. As a matter of fact, I would applaud it any other time, but right now, that's where I'm at. John, what are your thoughts?
Guys, I'm going to give you a number. 17. That's how many roll call votes it took for McCarthy to get the position.
She's only 17. Yeah, it took him like 5 days. I think.
It was a hot mess.
He had to make a whole lot of backroom sweetheart deals to get the position in the first place. And Gaetz has finally said, you know what, enough is enough. It took you this long just to start the inquiry to impeach Biden.
Yeah, you're right. And everybody that's called in that's anti-McCarthy, you're 100% right on everything. I'm just looking at the long game because, again, maybe this is the old jilted Cubs and Pacers fan in me. I'm tired of losing. I want to see my team win in 2024. Does this decision right now help my team win in 2024?
Ladies and gentlemen, new speaker, Donald Trump.
I mean, technically he could. But knowing the Republicans, they'll bring out Paul Ryan. Jim, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Yeah.
Jim, what do you think?
When opportunity knocks, you got to take advantage of it. It's now or sooner the better. Just get it over with. He lied. He stabbed the party in the back. He's no good for the party. He's no good. And if Republicans are serious about cleaning the swamp, they have to start with their own party. They have to get rid of the junk in their own party.
It's a great
That's
point.
all I got.
Great point. Thank you, Jim. All right, keep the conversation rolling on the YouTube chat, on social media, at Hammer and Nigel. Again, big story, the Republicans. Matt Gaetz, they pulled it off. They ousted Kevin McCarthy, and now we play the waiting game to see what's next. Matt Bear, what's going on?
Southbound 65 completely stopped before MLK down to Meridian Penn, and then we see westbound 70 at Hendricks County. That's actually worse. Stop from the airport ramps down to State Road 267. Stop traffic running about 3.5 miles here as they are fixing a hole in the road blocking the right lane at 267. Eastbound 70 slow to downtown from Harding and Lawrence. It's bad. Eastbound 465 completely jammed. Keystone down to 56 because of the paving. Traffic sponsored by Indeed.com. If you need to hire, you need Indeed because Indeed's all-in-one hiring solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
87 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. We'll play Are You Okay With This? Next.
You probably know how much money you've saved in your IRA or 401k, correct?
Oh, I know to the penny, Casey, and I work in radio, so it's not that much.
Okay, well, here's another question. Do you know how much you'll owe in taxes on this money in retirement?
Absolutely not, because I'm an idiot, Casey. That's why I seek the help of trained professionals.
Well, that's the most important number you really need to know, Rob. Otherwise, you're not going to know how much money you really do have.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k. Just go to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. That's SaveTaxesWithBill.com. Just input a few numbers and you'll instantly see how much money you could save in taxes when you retire. It's from Bill Dimry, our good friend right here in Indy.
Don't give the government a nickel more in taxes than you have to. Learn how much money you could save in taxes when you retire by going to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. It's SaveTaxesWithBill.com.
Whether it's driving a race car, building a business, or just being mom, you gotta solve problems. I'm former IndyCar driver Sarah Fisher, and when my problem was foot pain, the Good Feet store became my problem solver. Having the Good Feet store on your team is like having a great pit crew, helping to keep the feet and body in alignment and well balanced. Now I drive, walk, run, and live life pain-free. At the Good Feet store, they know that foot pain can impede everyday life. It's a constant battle that can affect you physically and emotionally, putting a strain on everything from small tasks to big adventures. As Indy's premier arch support specialist, the Good Feet store enhances the quality of life for anyone desiring to live life without limits. My Good Feet arch supports help me cruise through my days in comfort. See how they work for you with a free, personalized fitting at either one of our 2 Indianapolis locations, or make an appointment at goodfeet.com.
Oh, man, fall and winter right around the corner. The last thing you need to be worried about as a homeowner is whether or not your house is going to be warm this winter and whether or not your HVAC system is going to give out. You don't have to worry about that with American Standard Heating and Air. If you need American Standard service, Hammer will tell you who you need to check out.
Family Heating and Air Conditioning, the Morris family and staff, ready to help you out this spring and summer. You could call Rachel, you could call Marcus, or you could call Malia today to make sure that AC is ready for the hot summer, hopefully hot summer that lies ahead. Family Heating and Air always encourages you to call them for a free second opinion, even if you've already got a quote from somebody else. If something doesn't look right, you could call Family. Nobody cares for you like Family. 317-577-8077. Family Heating and Air. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Jesse Kelly here. Do you feel protected? My personal protection plan is owning gold. The Oxford Gold Group helps you buy gold to have on hand or convert it into your 401k. If things get weird, I have gold on hand. I like that. You can buy coins or convert part of your 401k with the Oxford Gold Group. It's easy and safe. 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD. 833-995-GOLD.
Leaves falling and getting stuck in your drains and gutters? Sounds like it's time for some maintenance. And who to call is a no-drainer. Call my friends at Hope Plumbing. They're the experts in the industry and trustworthy plumbers who care about the health and safety of your home. During the month of October, Hope is offering a $49 mainline cleaning with a free camera inspection. So leave your worries behind this fall and call Hope Plumbing at 641-HOPE today to schedule your $49 mainline cleaning.
Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $149 and a free hallway too, and $50 off air duct cleaning with Zero Res. Schedule online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay? Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Oh, yeah!
JP Morgan boss Jamie Dimon claiming that AI,
Allen Iverson,
artificial intelligence, practice. This guy from JP Morgan says that AI is going to eliminate jobs, but allow for the next generation of workers to only have to work 3.5 days a week. Here he is breaking down some positives and some negatives to the new technology.
People have to take a deep breath, okay? Technology's always replaced jobs. Your children will live to 100 and not have cancer because of technology. And literally, they'll probably be working 3.5 days a week. So technology's done unbelievable things for mankind. But, planes crash, pharmaceuticals get misused. There are negatives.
There's a lot to unpack there. Are you okay with this?
Yes, I'm okay with this because I do think that you will see some amazing strides, hopefully in medicine, throughout the next 50 years as a result of this, at least in terms of maybe early detection, right? I don't know if you're ever going to find a cure for cancer despite Joe Biden's campaign promise. I don't know if you're ever going to find that.
Vote for me, I'll cure your cancer. Well, we did, and you're didn't.
No, not at all.
I understand what you're saying, though, right?
Right. And every generation has to adapt to the times, right? There's a generation, we kind of talked about this yesterday, that did not have Google Maps. You had to get the old Rand McNally out if you wanted to make a road trip, look things up in encyclopedia.
You actually had to call places of business if you didn't know how to get there to get directions and write them down on a pad of paper.
And there was a big, ginormous yellow page book that you had to look up business phone numbers in. So, I'm all right with this, but I'm thinking that one line there, people might only have to work for 3.5 days a week. Hell, don't let the auto workers hear that because they're going to go back to the table. Hey,
wait a minute.
Based on new information, we now want a 70% raise and we want to work 3.5 days. So be careful what you wish for, but for the most part, I think I'm okay with this.
All right. This content creator, roll my eyes when I hear that job description. His name's Mario. He doesn't have any kids, right? He was accused of mom shaming after posting a TikTok making fun of a mom who was glued to her phone rather than watching her kid on the playground. Here is a piece of his story that launched this entire debate, Hammer.
There's one parent, a mother, and a child at this party. The kid is just playing quietly. The mom, the entire time, is on her phone, staring right down at her screen. Doesn't look up one time. Kid gets to the top of the slide, and I hear, "Watch this!" And at the top of her lungs, shrieking like a velociraptor, this mother screams, "1 second." Kid's terrified. You can see the white of his eyes just sitting at the top of the thing like, what did I do wrong? Mom never looks up from the screen as the kid goes down and goes over by the swing set.
This guy mom shaming, he doesn't have any kids himself. Are you okay with this?
I'm okay with him. Yeah, you don't have to have kids to call out people being bad parents, right? I am not a pilot. I don't have a pilot's license. But if I see my pilot drunk walking into the cockpit without pants on and holding a bong, I can say something and be critical. You don't have to have kids to recognize bad parenting. And I got news for you, Bal. It's everywhere. The cell phones, we talked about technology. Cell phones, technology can be great. But we've become such slave to these things. And I'll admit, I'm guilty of it sometimes.
Sure,
I get on my phone and...
late at night, on the can, wherever.
Right,
whenever.
Exactly. Doing whatever. But if you're not parenting, if your child is at the top of a slide, getting ready to go full Superman and just dive off, maybe you should look up from the screen once in a while. And it doesn't matter if you have kids or not. You can call out bad parenting.
In a poll of 5,000 people, 69% of Americans say pizza is a great breakfast food. Are you okay with this?
Yes. Not only am I okay with this, I love this. Because, follow me here, right. I think breakfast is just an idea. Breakfast is a concept.
Boy, we are getting really deep here, aren't we? We are getting into the weeds. Get ready.
So why are we to say that greasy fried potatoes, hash browns with either hot sauce or ketchup is a breakfast food?
Steak and eggs, for that matter.
Right.
Yeah.
But pizza is not.
I see what you're saying.
It doesn't matter about the food. We lump foods into certain categories. No. Pancakes, breakfast food. Waffles, breakfast food. Hell no, man. Have you ever got real drunk and had breakfast food late at night? It's the best. It's the bee's knees, man.
We still occasionally cook our kids pancakes and waffles at night for dinner.
Yeah.
Loved that when I was a kid, for sure.
It's the best. So it doesn't matter what you have for breakfast. The meal itself is called breakfast. If you want to have pizza, if you want to have 13 donuts, whatever you want, that's the meal that comes first for you in the morning. That is breakfast food. And pizza, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I was okay with it in my 20s for sure. But anymore, like we have pizza Fridays at our house now, and we always have leftovers. And I wake up the next morning and I'm hungry, and I never eat. I never will pick up a piece of cold pizza out of the refrigerator and eat it. Just doesn't sound appetizing.
So how long have
anymore.
you been a communist?
I'm saying in my 20s, sure, it was fine. Even if we left it out all night on the stove, it was fine.
You can't eat cold pizza or heat it up in the microwave at all?
In the morning for breakfast, no. It just does not sound appetizing to me.
Must be a snotty Zionsville thing. You hanging out with all your elite rich friends in Zionsville.
Let me get your take here real quick. There's a part of this, there was like a study done, and that was like, so 69% of Americans say pizza is a great breakfast food. Parmesan is also our favorite side. I load up my pizzas with Parmesan.
So side for pizzas, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's our favorite side for pizzas. Red pepper flakes are next. And then 30%, tell me what you think about this, like a side of ranch for dipping with their pizza.
Dude.
Ranch with pizza.
When I was younger and I worked at the Pizza Hut up by Ball State, I was shocked at how many people always wanted ranch with their pizzas. That was the first time that I'd ever seen that. And it wasn't just like one or two regulars. People all the time, I want a side of ranch. I want a side of ranch. Here in Indiana, we love our sides of things, whether it's ranch or cheese sauce. Like if you go to another state and you get breadsticks and you try to get cheese sauce to dip it in, they look at you like you just shot the president. What? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? So you get a lecture when you go to other states. But here in Indiana, we like ranch, we like cheese. We also like having, childhood obesity and fat asses.
All right. Is it time for a break yet? One more thing. People were also asked to pick the worst possible toppings. These are the worst toppings. Avocado ranking first, followed by mac and cheese, eggplant, pineapple, and fried chicken.
Mac and cheese pizza. I've never had that. I'm intrigued by that.
Very interested in mac and cheese pizza.
Anchovies, was nowhere to be found. But mac and cheese, that's where people draw the line with pizza.
Avocado ranked first. What about ketchup? I'll occasionally dip it in ketchup, man. I know that's weird, but
what's weird is like school pizza. Back when I was a kid, it comes in a square. I could dip that in ketchup. But if I went and got pizza now, like from Pizza Hut or wherever, I would not dip that in ketchup.
I'm going for, instead of the ketchup most of the time, sriracha sauce. Sriracha or Frank's.
Yep. I'm a good hot sauce user myself. All right, let us know what you put on pizza that would be considered interesting, to say the least. At Hammer and Nigel. An update on the border coming up right now. I'll look at the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
He's been ousted. Sunny, 88 degrees on Monument Circle. Your radar is clear. Low of 61 expected tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Kevin McCarthy's been removed as Speaker of the House. Here's how your Hoosier representatives voted.
Baird. No. Banks. No. Bouchon. No. Carson. Aye. Houchin. No. Mervan.
Aye.
Pence.
No.
Sparks. Nay. Yackham.
No.
McCarthy had called for a vote on a speakership after Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz put forward the motion to vacate the chair yesterday. Republicans now need to find a new speaker. The judge in Trump's civil fraud case in New York has issued a gag order. Fox's Gernal Scott reports.
Judge Arthur Engoron put a gag order in place after former President Trump went online to disparage the judge's principal law clerk. The post included a photo of Allison Greenfield, characterizing her as a political opponent in the middle of a partisan legal attack on him by New York Attorney General Letitia James. Judge Engoron said the attack is not appropriate and not tolerated. The order will apply to both the prosecution and defense and is only to stop verbal attacks on court staff. The former president took down the post about the staffer prior to the judge's order. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Indiana is expected to get some rain Thursday.
All areas can see rain. I think the best chance, though, is from central and southern Indiana at the moment.
Forecaster Matt Eckhoff says temps will also cool down with highs in the 50s over the weekend. Republican candidate for Indy Mayor Jefferson Shreve says he'll donate his salary to Indianapolis Animal Care Services if he's elected.
This supplemental funding will help with some of the daily necessities the city is not currently providing, such as adequate heartworm treatment and other medical needs.
He says he would hire more veterinarians and also increase salaries. The last time IU men's basketball played Kentucky in the regular season.
Side to Watford, 3 on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game!
Don Fisher on the call in 2011 of what became known as the Watch Shots. The two programs with a combined 13 national titles have decided to meet in the regular season again starting in 2025. The series will continue for 4 years with each team getting 2 home games. With traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Baer.
We made a hell of a mess of the south side. 2 crashes going on westbound at 465. The first one before Harding, left lane gone. Traffic stop 231. And we're still not moving after that because of the second crash. It's near the White River, blocking the left lane. Total stop traffic running from 31 to the White River on the south side. Westbound 70, Hendricks County stopped traffic from the airport ramps out to 267. About a 4-mile delay because of a pothole repair blocking one of the lanes right now, the right one, stopping traffic for 4 miles. Eastbound 465 stopped after Keystone Avenue to Allisonville Road. We drag all the way down to East 56th Street because of construction. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products, 2.99% financing, and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
After a warm day, enjoy a mild night. Temperatures falling to the 60s tonight, warming back to the 80s tomorrow. Under mostly sunny skies, by afternoon will increase cloud cover and rain chances. I'm Storm Track 8 Chief Meteorologist Ashley Brown on 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Nothing is improving at the border whatsoever. We've already had more border crossings this year, illegal border crossings this year than all of last year combined. I believe this month or last month set a record for month-to-month crossings, numbers in the hundreds of thousands, Hammer. And now we have Border Patrol agents getting assaulted. It's a dangerous job down there to patrol the border.
And in the last 48 hours, 2 Border Patrol agents have been assaulted. One incident involved a situation where someone was being physically restrained while the other was with a vehicle. So not only is the border wide open now, it's lawless at the border. People are running over border agents with vehicles.
Are they okay? Do we have the border agents?
Both guys are in good condition.
Okay, good.
So that's the good news. But you factor in the sheer numbers of what's happening, the humanitarian crisis, the violence. You're right. It's not getting any better.
You know, we've had border agents risking their own lives and losing their own lives trying to save illegal crossers in the Rio Grande and other bodies of water. So it's not only the case of Border Patrol agents being attacked by criminal illegal aliens. They've risked and lost their own lives trying to save people crossing illegally.
Some more numbers came out today, and this past weekend, down at the what should be port of entry, the United States Border Patrol agents, they arrested 4 convicted sex offenders because they were trying to enter the country illegally. Now, keep in mind, these are just the stories we hear about.
Right.
So you've got 4 convicted sex offenders that are trying to get from what I gather in this report, back into the United States because they were kicked out before, violating every single form and document that they've signed when they were deported the first time. And these are just the ones apprehended.
Yeah.
How many bad actors, how many child sex offenders have crossed over just without anybody knowing?
Well, that's who the gotaways are. We always talk on this show about the word gotaways, the people that don't go through the quote-unquote legal pathways to citizenship, or they're not using the asylum app. These are the people in the millions under Joe Biden that have eluded they've eluded Border Patrol. They don't want to be fingerprinted. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to have their mugshot taken. They don't want to have any record of themselves being in this country because they are criminals. They are bringing fentanyl in. They are human traffickers. And those are called gotaways, and they've been in by the millions, Hammer, and I call that an invasion.
Let me read to you some of these convictions of these 4 people that were taken in, apprehended at the border. These are just the ones, again, that were caught. Tons more got through, but these were the ones that were apprehended. Aggravated sexual assault of a child. Criminal sexual acts on a child. Murder, rape, or sexual abuse of a minor. Sex with a minor. So these are the people walking across the border, and if it's not for the Border Patrol, who's completely outmanned and overworked, these 4 will be back in the United States today. If there's one thing this country does not need more of, it's sex traffickers.
They make billions off of it, by the way. And Joe Biden has done everything in his power since he took office to roll out the red carpet and make it so easy for people to come into this country. Just a couple examples. Ending Title 42, the COVID-era policy of keeping people out that should have been in place. The Remain in Mexico policy was devastating. When Joe Biden got rid of Remain in Mexico, that is, I want to claim asylum, I want to come to the United States. Okay, but you got to stay in Mexico while we get your paperwork done. Did away with that. And what we have now is the overwhelming of the system. I mean, it's truly overwhelmed the system, not only on the southern border towns, but now we're seeing in heavily blue Democratic states across the country.
Which brings us to this story from New York. So before we get into this, let's take a trip down memory lane.
Please.
Remember during COVID when the narrative was all of the hospitals are full? Maybe we should only work on the folks who have been vaccinated because everybody else, they are choosing to die. These hospitals, they're overwhelmed.
Never happened.
Never happened.
Never true. There were hospitals, and maybe in New York City, that were stressed, but there weren't body bags laying on the sides of the streets.
There was an Indy Star sports reporter, I'm not going to say his name because he gets off on it, that said if they run the Indy 500, you better have mobile morgues standing by.
The purest form of panic porn I've ever seen.
And those stories were everywhere, remember?
Yeah, well, they weren't just here, sure.
Everywhere.
I mean, Sturgis, remember when Sturgis?
Right.
300,000 people were going to die of Sturgis in 2020? Football games, players playing on the football field, not one record, not one incident of somebody on a football field contracting COVID from somebody else.
So that was the story during COVID. Now, there are hospitals filling up in some of these blue sanctuary cities, but according to this report from the New York Times, 25% of the patients are now illegal immigrants. So citizens in this country, American citizens, are having a hard time getting medical help at a hospital because of Joe Biden's border policy.
Stories of homeless veterans now. Veterans being kicked out of their facilities to make room for illegal migrants that have been bussed in from the southern border.
This feels like this is a big story, but you're not going to find it on CNN. You're not going to hear about this on MSNBC. You think Norah O'Donnell's going to sit there with that Joker-looking face and talk about this story? No. But back when it was COVID, boy, oh boy.
Wait till they get a load of me and my COVID shots.
Let's do a little compare and contrast.
Please.
So late 2021 to now, here is New York's Governor Kathy Hochul.
Our message to the world is send us your people. Send us those who need the cloak of comfort that we can demonstrate as New Yorkers with big hearts and open arms, and we'll provide a safe haven. We want them to have a limit on who can come across the border. It is too open right now. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else. You're going to start seeing people living in tents, not just on the border, but in the streets of New York. We're at capacity.
Oh, I laugh and laugh and laugh. The pure virtue signaling, the pure it was virtuous Kathy Hochul in 2021.
Right. Send us your people. We're a sanctuary city. Like barely a year later.
Like she's the human version of the Statue of Liberty standing there with her a necklace that said vaccine on it. And now...
Barely a year later, we're full. We don't have room for you people. Like she's got a flamethrower standing at the border, just, the state just kind of putting it out there. We can't have any more people. Listen, it's hard for me to dwell up the crocodile tears here, Nige, because if you said you are a sanctuary city, you can't complain when people take you up on that offer. And that takes us to our neighbors in Illinois. Their governor, Pritzker, sent a letter to Biden calling for more action to be done to address all of the illegal immigrants who are coming to Chicago.
So these Democrats are finally directing their ire towards Biden?
Exactly. In his letter to Joe Biden, Governor Pritzker admitted that being a sanctuary city and sanctuary state has resulted in thousands of people coming from the southern border to Illinois, putting a strain on their resources, particularly in Chicago. Quote, as the numbers being transported to Chicago are accelerating, the humanitarian crisis is overwhelming our ability to provide aid to the refugee population. Unfortunately, the welcome aid Illinois has been providing these asylum seekers has not been matched with any support from the federal government.
And it's funny, okay, he addresses Biden directly there, but he doesn't really address the problem, which is the porous open border. He's saying basically we need more government funds. We need to get these people that are here illegally driver's licenses. We need to let these people work. And he's not saying close the border.
No. And it wasn't the federal government who made you virtue signal and call your state a sanctuary state or sanctuary city. Same thing with New York, same thing with San Francisco. The federal government did not come out and say, we want you to declare as a sanctuary city. They did it to virtue signal, and now people took them up on their offer, and they're crying for more tax dollars. Damn ridiculous. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Fall in Indy, and if you hate painting year after year, do what your neighbor Edwina did. She called Rhino Shield.
So over the years, I've had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
And Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Michaelis presents Password.
The word is basement. Okay. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
What? It's basement.
Oh.
Really? Moldy underwear?
Well, sometimes.
Ew. I did not need to know that.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, above your eyes, below your eyes, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor, you've visited urgent care over and over again, and it's always the same thing. Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and nasal sprays. But the sinus infections keep coming back. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty. Imagine the relief of not having to deal with your sinus infections anymore. Set an appointment today with Indianapolis Sinus Center and find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield and Common Threads has teamed up with the Indiana Fever to provide local schools with information for nutritious meal preparation. Learn more at anthem.com/fever. Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield is the trade name of Anthem Insurance Companies, Inc.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra on December 26th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Go to WIBC.com for more info.
All right, Matt Baer, what's going on with the roads?
Hammer South side, westbound 465 is a mess. We are looking to stop traffic from 31 past Harding Street into the White River. We had 2 crashes down. The one is blocking the left lane before the river, and traffic has stopped 231. Westbound 70 Airport, stop traffic from the ramps out to 267. It's a 4-mile delay because of emergency hole repair in the interstate. The right lane is blocked, causing a delay of 27 minutes. Inbound 65, stop and go MLK to Meridian Penn. At eastbound 465, stop traffic Keystone Avenue to I-69, then turns into the construction delay down to Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Design it before you buy it with B Window. Now for a limited time, get up to 50% off all products. 2.99% financing and a $550 installation credit. Trust your home to B. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Sunshine and 86 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. My name is Nigel. Hammer, what do we got coming up next hour?
So we got a little local, we got a little national. We've got a teacher being a perv, being arrested. We've got the Indiana Fraternal Order of Police upset that 2 officers are being charged.
Yeah, I'm too.
And we've also got a lot of legal stuff coming from the nation's capital.
Yeah, that, by the way, using the word pervert is very generous when you're talking about that teacher in Fishers. We'll have all that coming up after 6 o'clock. And, of course, the biggest news of the day, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy ousted with the help of his own party.
So there's a story going around social media, subtle reminders you're getting old. Yesterday, I turned 46, and man, it feels like overnight. I hear more pops in my body when I get out of bed.
More creaks, more groaning, things like that.
Right. Snap, crackle, pop, when I'm trying to get up in the morning. So 10 subtle reminders you're getting old. Number 1, this was number 1 on the list. When the trendy clothes from your teenage years come back into style.
Totally. I swear to God, my 9-year-old kid is dressing like she's from 1993 right now.
Really?
Awesome. Yeah, everyone is. All her friends do it. It's not just her, but yeah. I know exactly. I identify wholly with this, with number 1 on this list.
I never stopped doing that. Like, I still wear, like, if I'm cutting the grass, I've got the big baggy basketball shorts on. Sure. Like Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and the Fab Five. And, you know, I like loose fitting stuff.
I do too.
And that was a 90s thing.
I do too. I'm more Fetterman than I am anything else.
How about this? When music you used to play at parties starts to play in an elevator. I'll also put grocery store on that list,
grocery store. Yeah. I heard Pearl Jam's Even Flow in Kroger the other day. I was like, oh, man.
When you're watching these old TV shows, these old sitcoms like Full House, and you realize you agree with the parents more than the kids now.
Yep.
Like, I came home the other day, Crystal was watching Dirty Dancing, and like, when you're younger, you think nobody puts baby in a corner.
Right.
As a parent, you kind of side with old Jerry Orbach. Tell this old dude to leave my daughter alone, right?
Absolutely. Such a good point. That's how I'd be.
This is, again, the list of subtle reminders you're getting old. Your team, Jerry Orbach. When your kids start calling you ma'am or sir, when kids of any kind start calling you ma'am or sir.
I haven't gotten to that point yet. Nobody's called me sir in a long time.
I've always used sir or ma'am, even when I was younger.
But I do that because it's out of a sign of respect when I use it. It's nothing more than
Same here.
People take offense to it somehow. Ma'am, don't call me. I'm not a ma'am.
It's ma'am. How about this one? And I feel this one. When you have to keep scrolling and scrolling down to find your birth year on a drop-down menu. Like you're filling out some sort of paperwork online. Year of your birth, and you're scrolling down,
2001, 1998. We're okay, I'm getting there. Heading to 1985, not there yet. 1979, not there yet. Sure.
How about this one? When a celebrity pops up in an ad and you have no idea who they are. That's these award shows for me. Like, I have no idea who these people are in award shows pretty much anymore.
Even when I turn on, like, the kiddie pop station that my daughter likes to listen to.
Right.
She knows every word to every song on there. I've never heard of half of these people. It's actually, I'm kind of glad I don't know that. I don't care about that one so much.
And this one's my favorite, and you and I have talked about this before. Yeah. When you catch yourself making getting up and sitting down noises.
All right, should I do it? We're both sitting down here.
Okay, you go first. Let me go. Sitting back down. Sometimes you have to announce it. Sitting back down. Let us know your favorite reminders that you're getting old at Hammer and Nigel. One more hour to go. Come on back and hang out with us. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
You probably know how much money you've saved in your IRA or 401k, correct?
Oh, I know to the penny. Casey and I work in radio, so it's not that much.
Okay, well, here's another question. Do you know how much you'll owe in taxes on this money in retirement?
Absolutely not, because I'm an idiot, Casey. That's why I seek the help of trained professionals.
Well, that's the most important number you really need to know, Rob. Otherwise, you're not going to know how much money you really do have.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could dramatically reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k. Just go to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. That's SaveTaxesWithBill.com. Just input a few numbers and you'll instantly see how much money you could save in taxes when you retire. It's from Bill Dimry, our good friend right here in Indy.
Don't give the government a nickel more in taxes than you have to. Learn how much money you could save in taxes when you retire by going to SaveTaxesWithBill.com. It's SaveTaxesWithBill.com.
If you're on the job day in and day out, you know living with pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulders is miserable. The good news, QC Kinetics gets it. They understand guys like you.
They don't have the luxury of taking time off. They want to keep working. We are built for those guys that want to keep working and want to stay active. So the vast majority of who we see are the blue-collar guys like me and you.
QC Kinetics uses biologic therapies, just like pro athletes have used for years, to get you lasting pain relief with no surgery.
I want you to continue working. I want you to continue exercising. The joints are made to be moved.
The treatments at QC Kinetics are fast and non-invasive.
It's not a lot of time commitment on your part. There is no downtime or recovery time. You don't need short-term disability with what we do. We want to keep you active.
Call QC Kinetics now to set up your free no-obligation consultation. Learn how you can get real pain relief and stay on the job.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
We've created something special here in Carmel. I'm Sue Finkham, and it's here where I built my business and started a family and served as a leader on City Council, helping our community prosper and increasing government transparency. Now, we're America's #1 rated city, but we're just getting started. Lots of people talk about keeping Carmel the best city in America. But me, I'm the only one with the plan and experience to do it. I'm Sue Finkham. It's simple. Prioritize public safety by hiring, training, and equipping our first responders,